Right, we're live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here at 5:30 a.m. New Zealand time for this exciting test match. Or sorry, not the exciting test match, exciting T20 match between England and South Africa. Now, they have recently announced the sides that will be taking part. South Africa, they won the toss and they decided that they do want to have a bowl first. They have got a 40% chance of winning this. I think they may even drop a little bit more when we see the lineup that they have gone with. They've got quite a few players out, such as Mark Krim. He's not going to be playing in this contest, but England, they have gone with a strong lineup, including captain Josh Buttler. So we'll have to wait and see exactly who gets the win here. England have home field advantage. I should also mention, it's going to be a good match, and I am excited. Had to get up for this game. It is a 5:30 start, like I mentioned, but it will certainly be worth it when we do get to see some T20 action once again. But South Africa, they've got a strong side. When it comes to that batting, I would say that they're certainly going to have to put on some runs early on in their innings, but first of all, probably limit England to not being able to get anywhere over about 170, 180 might be a tricky one to chase down. I think the boundary's straight on, quite short, so that might be where the English target, because that's the thing, Josh Buttler, even if it's a short boundary, whether it's a long boundary, he will hit it for six. He will hit it far. Same with same with many of the English players. And there's but currently the coverage on Spark Sport hasn't quite started yet. They said it was starting now. They lied to me, but it will be here very soon, and we will get to see the pitch conditions soon as that takes place. And also, hi, will I see the game, says Miss Molly. Unfortunately, due to licensing, we're unable to show any match footage or audio for this one, but we will try our absolute best to describe it. But Josh Buttler and Jason Roy, the two players who will be making their way out there for England in their starting lineup, and they will be opening for this one. In England, 200 runs, says MD, and also video like Raja from Bangladesh or by Bangladesh. And also MD has got the thumbs up. And I hope you guys are all doing well, though. I hope you're excited for yet again another exciting international match. These two sides, they will be playing 3 T20s and then they move on to the Test series. Should be very entertaining, but we do see Rabada will be out there for South Africa. Now, normally in the Test format, he has a few no balls, which is a bit unfortunate for them, but they have just shown the teams Jason Roy, Josh Buttler, then it has Dawa Milan, Johnny Bairstow, Moeen Ali, Liam Livingston, Sam Curran, Chris Jordan, Al Rashid, Reece Stockley, and Richard Gleeson for England. Then for South Africa will be Quinton de Kock as the keeper. For this one, Reza Hendricks. Riley Rizzo actually gets his first opportunity since about 2016 for South Africa. Heinrich Klaassen, David Miller as the captain, Tristan Stubbs. Then it is Andilil they just got rid of it. But that was a hard name that I was about to pronounce also. They have got Rabada in there and a few of the other bowlers who we will get to see in action very, very soon. And there as well. And England, the main support, says MD, and does this channel show the game? Unfortunately, Miss Molly, we are unable to show match footage or audio. The highlights will be up on YouTube on a different channel as soon as the match is over. Maharaj looks like he is going to be bowling the first over. 14 matches, 10 wickets. Left arm bowler, so whether or not he can throw something a little bit different at Buttler and Roy in the early stages, we will have to wait and see. It looks overcast at the moment. Like I mentioned, short boundaries in front and behind. So I think that will be exactly where England target. Definitely with the South Africans going with 2 spinners in this one. More than likely we'll see some big shots. We are just about to get underway. England batting first. 3, 2, 1 on the big screen. And we are now ready to go, ladies and gentlemen, for the match. Hello, says Alta. Welcome in. Hope you are doing well. Ooh, geez, that one was a decent ball straight away from Maharaj. Tried a little bit more of a skitty delivery. Went straight over the middle of the middle stump. Quicker than Jason Roy was expecting. Hello, says the Ninja Dude. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. I saw New Zealand, Scotland did finish recently. Jason Roy swinging to the leg side, tries to sweep, and it is fielded there at square leg, and they do end up picking up the single, though. Josh Buttler now does have the strike. Right, the question is, will our scoreboard behave itself? Maybe. It's actually, there we go. It's not doing too bad. What we'll do is we'll go to about there, and we'll go here, and like that. It's actually been quite some time since we've done a cricket game. I want to say the last time that we did cricket was probably New Zealand versus India. I think it might have been a nice shot from Buttler, misfield on the ring, and that will lead to 4 runs for Josh Buttler. So unfortunately, Klaassen just gets that one slightly wrong. I think he committed too early, and Josh Buttler, he'll take those runs And T20 series then should be practice for both sides, or both of these sides for the World Cup later this year. Someone has to dethrone the world champs Aussie on home soil. See Sebastian there as well. And it's an interesting lineup that South Africa went with. I believe before the match, people were saying they've got about 5 players who normally would start or make it into the World Cup squad that they decided that they wouldn't play in this contest. So I think there's a little bit of strategy going on, definitely with the fact that there is a game tomorrow in 24 hours' time. These two sides play again. Now, Sebastian, do let me know, how many are you expecting from England for this first innings? A little bit lobbyish from Jason Roy, but hits it straight down to mid-on and gets a single once again. And also, dude, can you do New Zealand versus Scotland's second T20 match as an injury? We will see how we're going. Unfortunately, I did mention that 1:30 was a better time, but I realised 5:30, believe it or not, is actually the better time this week than 1:30 was. But I did see the score of that game. It was relatively one-sided for New Zealand. That's a big shot from Josh Buttler straight down the ground, and he gets 6 runs. I mentioned how short those boundaries were. He's made the most of it there, and it is 13 for none after the first over, and the South African flags from Malta. And also never underestimate a South African Protea, says Alta. Yeah, South Africa, they've certainly got a strong bowling attack, but I care more about the Test series. Isn't much more refined than, or it's much more refined than T20 in it, says Sebastian. Yeah. And it is only, I want to say, 3 weeks away from taking place. I do like the fact that it is coming to us pretty much after the Commonwealth Games, because they don't play ODIs up against South Africa, do they, England? You know, have a quick look. But while we are at it, Rabada is getting brought into the bowling attack. His best is 3 for 20. You wouldn't mind having that today. I've realised that my words don't quite come out today, but I think that's just because it's very early in the morning. And also we have got there, can I be moderator now, bro? And Nathan too, bro, says the Ninja Dude. And also Josh Buttler, my favourite, says the Ninja Dude. So yeah, as soon as we do want more moderators, we will certainly be looking to you guys who do tune in, week out. That is once again Chip from Jason Roy has managed to just get it wide of mid-wicket. Maharaj, he wouldn't have minded that first over too much other than getting smacked for 6 off the very last ball. That misfield, he couldn't help it. And ODI series has finished, already finished, 1-1. Third ODI has been abandoned due to the bad weather. When's the first? Yeah, 20 days' time, the first test, August 17th. So that works quite well for our schedule, because it does mean that by then, the only competition that will be going on is Bunnings NBC and Rugby Championship, I think. But yeah, a lot of sport coming up. Commonwealth Games just around the corner. Nice pitched up delivery from Rabada. Hit downfield. They do manage to get themselves once again another single there for England. But I'm curious to see what Buttler does, not just throughout this match, but throughout the T20 series, because we know he's going to be there for the English. But it's that question of, is he going to be able to step up? He normally does, no matter what the match is, Josh Buttler. And he's captain now as well. Josh Buttler should be replaced with Finn Allen in the New Zealand squad. I don't know whether or not that's how the eligibility rules work, but we would take him. If he was willing to play for New Zealand, I'll take it. I guess it's like Ben Stokes in England, isn't it? And us with every single South African player that's ever existed has played for New Zealand as well. Just look at our squad. Wagner, VJ Watling, De Grono means Zimbabwean, though. We've had... Oh, that's close to an LBW. Did it go over? No. They are saying not out. Nice ball from Rabada, though. It skidded on quite nicely. 139 Ks on that one. And Finn Allen was great, says the Ninja Dude. Yeah, I did see New Zealand got 225 for themselves in another weekend without rugby, says Hanley. Now, not quite. We have got the 7s at the Commonwealth Games. If that is something you are keen on, New Zealand, South Africa, Fiji, Samoa, Tonga, Argentina, all those sides going to be playing, and we will be doing the commentary throughout the whole weekend. We may even be doing commentary for matches such as, I'm trying to think of the most random match that there will be. I mean, New Zealand versus Sri Lanka is one that we will be covering, which I think will be relatively one-sided. And good morning from Melbourne, mate. How's it going? Says Nathan. You are up very early, Nathan, but I hope you are doing well, mate. Hope you did sleep well up till this point. I was not strategic with what time I went to bed. Initially, I was going to go to bed at about 9, wake up at 5, 8 hours, sweet as. That didn't happen. I ended up going to sleep at about, I'd say, 2 a.m., wake up at 4:30, and then go from there. So not the best sleep schedule, I guess you could say, at the moment, but that's probably preparing me for the Commonwealth Games a little bit. Quick single taken off the last ball of Rabada. They do only get through for 3 runs off that over, and it is now 16 for none after 2. I wonder how long it is going to be till we get to see Gareth, because I know that he was talking about the fact that he loved the fact that there's the rivalry between England and South Africa. I see we've got Sebastian, our Englishman, that's not quite our Romanian Englishman, I guess we could say. Englishman. Why could I not say that word? That is a tricky word to say at 5 a.m. South Africa donates players to New Zealand. New Zealand donates players to England. England, well, we're grateful for the added talent. And Sebastian as well. Yeah, I'm trying to think, who would we count as an English overseas player who plays for a different country? I'm trying to think if Australia have got any Englishmen, but normally because of the Ashes, that's like a no-go, isn't it? You don't really test out the waters with that. Now, wide down the leg side. Morning, everyone. If it's sunny on your side of the world, please fully send it our way, says Nathan. Yeah, I don't think it's very warm here either. To be honest, we're 4 degrees and we've had a lot of rain and it's been flooding everywhere, unfortunately. But other than that, it's all right. Me and George, we went for a walk at the park like 2 days ago. You wouldn't do that now. You'd need a kayak. It's pretty wet. And also miss the old South Africa team. They were unstoppable, winning over 60% of the ODI games and getting first in all formats of cricket. Nicely worked to the league side. Oh, Hunley now, favourite South African player from the good old days. Like, I know that quite a few people, depending on whether you're a bowler or a batting fan, I guess you probably have a different guy. But Nyeri here, 26 matches, 40 wickets for himself, right arm fast medium. I think I heard a noise. Is that my dad? Yes, it is. Morning.
Hang on.
Did the cat wake you up?
Of course.
The cat has been on, I was going to say on the rack, but he's been running rampage around the house in the early hours of the morning. Nyeri, okay, Buttler. I couldn't say that properly, but he's hit it for 6 down the ground. Very nicely done from Josh Buttler there. And Gareth also mentioned that he despises T20. We might not get to see him during this stream, says Sebastian. That is a good point. Some people, it's just not quite the bread and butter. Josh Buttler, he loves a bit of T20. Probably loves a bit of bread and butter as well, I think, but he's got a good middle on his bat. And as soon as you get it over mid-off, you don't really need to worry about whereabouts anyone else is in the field. And yet he thought that there was a catching opportunity. Then he put out his tongue and went, hang on, that's gone a bit further than I anticipated. And also A.B. de Villiers, definitely right up there. Or Sean Pollock, surely one of these two. Or Dale Steyn, if we're talking bowling. Yeah, when you talk aggression in the bowling, Dale Steyn, that's the thing. He seemed like he was, I guess you could say, such a light-hearted. That's another 4 runs for Josh Buttler. Brilliant shot out through cover way. But yeah, he seemed like such a soft-spoken guy. And then you got him on the field and he was just revved up to the next level. It's like Brett Lee with this chainsaw, isn't it? How he just did the pump, pump, pump. It's a good shot from Buttler. Back foot cut. Almost just open-handed, I almost said open-handed strike like we're talking UFC. Did you watch UFC? Anyone in the chat as well for the most recent one? Tom Aspinall, a little bit of a disappointment for the main event. Me and Dad actually, that's a big shot from Buttler. That's gone very high, but has he got enough of it? Goes up, must go down. He's taken it, brilliantly done. And Butler's gone 22 off 7. That is a catch that they certainly needed. It was the captain, Miller, who was able to take it. What a great catch, Killer Miller. And there's Hamish. What did you make of the fight between Ioane and Marshall, says Connor? It was pretty short. Overall, there weren't really too much. I guess you could say it was like Aspinall versus Blades, wasn't it? Only lasted about 18 seconds and ended in disappointment. But overall, I think it was just a dispute on a night out. Like a lot of these, I think, was it Ian Foster who said these happen all the time. It's just that this one got filmed. Butler's gone. And captain's off already. I need a drink, says Sebastian. At least it's afternoon there, isn't it? Or almost evening. Or captain out already, says Sebastian. I've actually forgotten. Do we still have the out emoji on the channel? Surely we do. I don't really change the emojis That's why there's still the Christmas one. But we're actually closer to Christmas than not at the moment. So it makes sense. And Miller never drops a catch. He is such a good fielder, says JB. Yeah, it was a tough one. Running backwards for one makes it difficult. But then he also ended up going down backwards, which then from there can sometimes lead to the ball popping out. He's done brilliantly. 20-9 in the evening. There's Sebastian there as well. Is it? Oh. Okay, so a little bit later than I thought it was. Over there, so Commonwealth Games must be brilliant for you, Sebastian, I believe it, isn't it? Wait, what time is it in England? Is it currently 5:42 p.m.? Or a little bit different? I'm terrible with my time zones again. I thought I worked them out, and then they change it, and then they're just completely different, aren't they? Now, Ngidi, sorry. Oh, pull shot straight away from Dava Milan. At one point was ranked the number one T20 batsman in the world in 18-7 year, says Sebastian, and also 643 in the UK as well, says Abdullah. Unfortunately for Buttler, he got underneath it, but he had enough time there, the captain David Miller. He was watching it all the way, then just took it over the head and then managed to keep it above the ground. Takes the catch. Those cameramen would have been making money because that was a money shot right there from David Miller. Yet he bowls outside of off stump. Once again, trying to find a gap in the field. Nicely done by Stubbs, one of the bowlers for South Africa. But that will be the end of the over. The wicket was taken by Nyeti. Did end up going for 13 runs in the process, but that massive wicket of Jos Buttler, 29 for 1 now for England after 3. Now, I've been that fine-tuned to the BBL that I keep on thinking it's going to be 4 overs, but then after that, you are going to end up having the 2 overs later, but that is not the case. We have got 6 overs back to back to back. It's quite a square ground, the Bristol County Ground, I believe it is. And I was going to say that Aidan Makram is bad. Says to be fair, he's not playing in this game, so maybe that's why they decided that they weren't going to be putting him out there, because you thought he wasn't too flash. But I think more than likely he's going to be playing tomorrow in their next game, because the first T20 is now. The second T20 is in 24 hours. David Milan almost chopped it onto his stumps there, but it has just missed on the leg side. And then the last T20 is actually on Monday, the 1st of August. So they really have squeezed them in. They played 3 T20s in 4 days. Pretty impressive. And the start of Buttler's mandate as white ball has been pretty dreadful. Owen had it all under control captaincy-wise. Now Joss needs time to learn the craft and responsibility. See Sebastian, yeah, we can't all be Ben Stokes, can we? Comes in. It's got like the perfect record. Him and McCullum seem to be the dream team at the moment. But the question is, so we segue back round, will that be the case after the South Africa-England series? They are being played in South Africa. First match, it's going to be at Lord's, the home of English cricket. That's going to be epic. And that is going to be starting on August 17th. They're not going to tell me the day, but I have a calendar. So August 17th, Wednesday. That's all right. Because that means that it's probably going to overlap with some of the rugby championship. That's all right. We can miss that session. Every other session, though. Wow, that was a good Yorker from Rabada. I'm in a very talkative mood today. And also, do you think France has better front row than South Africa and will flatten them? Says Hardley. Now, I know that was a much talked about topic throughout the week, is whether or not the front rows can hold up. I'd definitely say that the bomb squad off the bench for South Africa is the stronger out of the 2 options. France have got some big boys, some young talent in there, but I mean, when you think of scrums, you normally think of that South African 4-pack. So until they've got a few more caps under their belt for France, they certainly have the potential. Cyril Baye's a good option. David Milan's a good option. He just smacked it for 6 again. This ground's not big enough for England at the moment. And also McCullum and Stokesy donated Kiwis, Sebastian there. And New England Test team is Baz Ballin, everyone at the moment. Says JB, yeah, they've been going very well. And it's a shame that New Zealand had to be a part of it when it started, but that's the thing. I mentioned it about 3 months before that series took place. When England were in a slum, I said any team up against New Zealand when they've been going poorly, they always seem to step up and do well. I didn't quite expect them to step up as far as they did to be undefeated, but they certainly did very well. And now they are reaping the rewards, keeping it going, getting some points on the World Test Championship. And have you watched today the Blitzton of Finn Allen against Scotland? Will you do second T20 commentary between Black Caps and Scotland, says Coding. We will have to wait and see when it has taken place. I'll have a quick look. And why do you think everyone hates the Springboks and always talk bad about them, says Hanley. Now, it's a tricky one because... Nice Yorker once again. They want the quick run. If it hits the stumps, he would have been gone, but he's got through there, Jason Roy. And now moves up to 7 off 13. So it's lucky Buttler was scoring as quickly as he was. But Russell just not quite able to line up that one. Or Russo, I think it actually is. And the thing is, he hasn't played since 2016, which is quite some time. But yeah, I think it's just some people, it's because they are good. And it's really hard to, I guess, they don't like how good the Springboks can be. And other people, I think it's more to do with the fans. Some people don't like Springbok supporters. And I think it's just because of the passion. Like some people think it comes across as something else. But at the end of the day, if you love your team, you support your team. That's all that really any side want. And please save us, South Africa, from Foster, says Nathan. I did see some news, which was involving the fact that they got rid of the other coaches. I think they might have actually stepped down. To be fair, Jason Ryan gets brought in. That's a little bit of a shame because we were about to organise an interview with him through Maxi, but I don't think now that he's signed for the All Blacks he can. And the funny thing is, my first question on the list of questions I was willing to ask him was if you were the All Blacks scrum coach, what would you do to improve their chances up against South Africa? And now we're going to get to see it because he is. So I guess if that's not like weird timing, don't know what is. And as soon as the test side has risen, the white ball side is headed into the gutter. Says Sebastian, I'm betting on the Springboks win both tests, to be honest, to show Ian Foster the exit, says Nathan. But the thing is, I don't know if they'll get rid of him. He seems to still be sticking around. Like the fact that the other coaches have left makes me think that something happened in that meeting that said we're keeping Foster around for a long time, so you're either on this ship with us or you're leaving the ship. And they both went, we'll just leave them, won't we? We'll just leave them to it, to the despise or the downsize, I was going to say, but then that made me think straight of Burger King. That's the thing. This is me going to pick a fight with them. Their large burgers are not large. Me and George have learnt that firsthand. KFC, George is frustrated because they just won't give him the chicken he's after. He wants 3 thighs, but he gets 1 breast, 1 thigh, 1 drum. Doesn't like that. And I was like, no, I don't wait until the end of or they won't wait until the end of 2023. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't know what happened in that meeting, but something's put the other coaches off because I don't think they were sacked. That was not a good shot from Jason Roy. He tried to hoik it across the line. Bye, Roy. He's gone. And Yuri has got himself another run or another wicket. Sorry, that was a poor shot, and Jason Roy knows it. He goes, which I think sums up that wicket, really, for Jason Roy. It's a slightly slower ball. He swung through too quickly. He looks down. He holds the ball, or holds a bat with one hand and goes, nah. Didn't go well at all. And what do you think? What's the reason why players like Ben Stokes retiring from ODI cricket at an early age? You see, in 4 to 5 years, ODI cricket will be completely vanished, says it Coding. And there as well, it will be interesting because I think the reason he is retired is because he's fully focused on the test game. They're on such a roll at the moment that he doesn't want to have anything else on his mind other than that test side. Him and McCullum, the dream team, as they would be called. But now Johnny Bairstow making his way out to the crease. He has been brilliant for England in the test format. And like they're saying, Johnny Bairstow, quite the ovation for him making his way out to the park. And got him, says Nazi Williams. Welcome in as well, mate. Hope you are doing well. You are also in New Zealand, aren't you? So early morning start for us here for us Kiwis. But I guess we're getting close to the time that you guys actually would be getting up for work, some of you. Starting at about 6 a.m. possibly. And Roy is a Safa because he won't do well against the course. He won't do well against the Proteas, says Sebastian. Oh, so England have a couple South Africans in there as well. Who is an England overseas player who, I'm going to have to look this up. England cricket player who plays for another country. Who we got? Country of birth. Wait, no, that's no. I wanted the ones that play for outside of. Okay, it's just giving me a list of players who play for England, who were born in New Zealand and everywhere else. And speaking of Savas Milan's at the Crusade, he says Sebastian, he is indeed David Milan at the moment. Yes, so quite a South African connection to this English side and Kiwi, I guess you could say there. But Nyeti currently sat in 2 for 15. New Zealand has a 55% record against South Africa. Second weakest 70% against Australia. Shows how unbelievably good they are. There's only now Kiora Hamish. Hope you're well, mate. Yep, Auckland, New Zealand, brother. I hope that weather down there hasn't affected you and your loved ones. Says Nazi Williams. No, I think the worst we've had is Mum had to walk through a puddle to get to work. Or not to get to work, but get to the car to then drive to work. Like, it's been a bit wet, definitely more wet than we needed, seeing as we only just had flooding about 2 or 3 weeks ago. But yeah, overall, it's probably not too bad for us. George as well. He actually lives out kind of in the country, but for him, it seems to drain real quick. Like, I don't know what they've got as their filtering system on the side of the road. It's just grass in it, but it just goes straight through. Which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing when you think about it. Do you want ground that super soaks everything? Like, it's like some sort of sponge, little bit of a mix up there. Oi, direct hit. Johnny Bairstow he'd like a second one. He says, yes, sir, I'll have another. Thank you very much. He might take more than one. No, just one. Marnus Labuschagne, a South African playing for Australia, says Hanley now. Because I know that Labuschagne also a bit of Greek in there, isn't there? If I'm not wrong. His mum might be South African, his dad's Greek, or vice versa. I think someone's Greek for Marnus. It's a good strike. Nah, Bairstow in by about a metre. And come on, South Africa, says Rabiach. And hey, if it works, so be, says Nazi Williams in there as well. Yeah. It just, like, he just said about it. And as soon as it hasn't been raining for like half an hour, you know, if it's a contract with New Zealand Rugby Union until 2023, if New Zealand Rugby Union get rid of Foster, so they have to pay the remaining contracted amount of money and they'll have to pay the new coach as well, says JB. Yeah, I think that is really what is stopping them. And I did mention this on one of the live streams in the past. The only way Ian Foster goes is if he resigns, I have a feeling at this stage, because New Zealand Rugby Union, they put out a statement. They said pretty much we're working with Ian Foster and the team. So that would make you think he's not going anywhere. The rest of his team left in the last, I guess you could say, the last cuts that they had, even though I think they were just like, nah, bye. We're getting off before this goes bad. And even the grass goes dry quickly around George. Please don't tell him I said that, says Sebastian. No, won't let him know. He won't be up either. He is actually heading to Southland. I don't know what my dad says. The only good thing to come out of Southland is the road. But he's going down for a family reunion. Don't tell him I said that. And did you see the video of Razor? I did hear about a podcast that apparently he mentioned how England might be his next kind of, I guess, position that he considers. Do you think Dwayne Vermeulen will play in the All Blacks game on Natu early, says Hanley? Now, I don't see him starting, but I see him coming off the bench for that first test match, perhaps. But then saying that, who do you take out is probably the bigger question for South Africa. Currently, they still will go with the 6-2 split, I think. And then with that experience side of things, you might go with a spare halfback, and then Willie LaRue might be your other option. But I think Jesse Creel's got that right wing spot. Nice shot from Bairstow. Goes out for another single. And you want to coach ABs in England, says it was Nathan there. And also that's KFC and chocolate biscuits must absorb all around him, says Nazi Williams. And also raised it to coach England Oosh, says Nathan. Yeah, because he's already been in contact with Eddie Jones, hasn't he? And why Buttler not opening for England in T20? He does well in franchise cricket when he is opening. He did open for this match. Josh Buttler, he's actually already out, unfortunately. My scoreboard has gone to sleep. There we go. Yeah, that's a bit better. But yeah, Josh Buttler actually already out, and hopefully not. Nate in there, says Nazi Williams. And out he says Xavier Brown. Welcome in, mate. Early morning start for you as well. Question. Has everyone just not gone to sleep, or are you guys waking up early? and he's in talks at the moment, says Nathan. So, yeah, there's a chance that he could be coaching or assistant coach for England going into the 2023 World Cup. Imagine the scenes if England beat New Zealand again. George into cricket? Nah, he doesn't really understand the game too much. I just woke up, says Xavier Brown and Morena Brown. It's Darcy Williams there as well. But, yeah, George, he's probably watched about three 2-hour sessions of cricket in his life, and 2 of them were on live stream. So that kind of tells you how far he goes. And you're going to do the December rugby games between the South Africa club team against Lion and Harlequins and Exeter Chiefs. Says Hanley, now, if they are being shown in New Zealand, we will be 100% doing those games. Is that actually that Champions Cup? If I'm not wrong. So if it's Champions Cup, we will certainly be doing that as they do show them in New Zealand. But above says Nuzzy Williams and Kiwi and Aussies up early for this game. Now, what's wrong with you, lads, says Sebastian. Yeah, I know. I didn't even get up for New Zealand versus Scotland. But the thing is, this game for me is going to be a lot closer than New Zealand versus Scotland was ever going to be. Like, we saw New Zealand get 225. I don't see England getting more than 200 here. And then from there, I think South Africa are going to be able to get relatively close, which is why I did decide this game would be the better one to do. Plus, after this game, I guess we're about 8:30, and I can kind of start my day from there. And I'm getting ready for work in 2 hours, says Nathan. And England only beat the All Blacks 8 times. Here's Hanley now. Nicely pitched up delivery once again, and that will be the end of the over, end of the power play as well. Almost 4 a.m. in Melbourne, says Nathan. So what do you do, Nathan, that requires you to get up at 6 a.m.? Also, do you take transport to your location of working? Weird way of wording that. Because when we were in Melbourne, this was like 2019. This was before the whole thing with like the world and the everything that happened with like, you know, I don't even know if YouTube allow you to say it anymore, the word that is, but like the whole like thing that made people unwell. Like we were over there and that was only just getting talked about, but Uber Eats is bloody brilliant. I work at DHL all early morning. You might have processed a package for me before, Nathan, because I did actually get something shipped over. Where did I ship it from that had DHL? I think I actually shipped over a Melbourne Stars kit. So you might have seen that. Well, probably not. But you would know that it was way too small. Does anyone have a child who would like the Melbourne Stars kit? I am asking because, like, by now I think I've blown the opportunity of being able to return it because it's been like a good 6 months since I did end up buying it. And also we have got a DHL Quinn sponsor, says Sebastian, so he well and truly approves. The one Maharaj back in the bowling attack. That one stayed relatively low, the off spinner. And that will be down into the hands of Klaassen there. And yes, Melbourne Stars. And there says Nathan as well, are you the size of a child, Nathan? Because that's the thing. I feel like at this point, it's either I'm going to sell it or just give it to someone and just sell the Stars kit on Trade Me. Yeah, I think that might have to be a good idea. All right, let's go Quins, says Nathan. And yeah, I think it's called the Heineken Champions Cup. Yep, so we will certainly be covering those games. Good to see you, Hamish, says Darren. Good to see you too, mate. If you are doing well, who do you think will be taking out this game between England and South Africa? Currently, these two sides, they play in less than 24 hours' time, which is pretty crazy to think that they've got 3 games squeezed into 4 days. Maharaj went for another single Bairstow. The crowd really like him. Is he from where we're playing in this game? Is he from Gloucester? Or, like, is he just very popular at the moment because of how well he's been going in the Test series? And also, let's go Quinn, says Nathan. And wait, did you buy a Stars kit and get it in the wrong size? Says Xavier. Pretty much. So I ordered it in a men's medium. They gave me a children's 14. Cheers, Australia. Like, I don't know where those two kind of overlap, but they must have just gone, yeah, that'll do. I think it actually, to their, I guess, downside, it did actually have medium on the coat hanger thing that it came on, but it didn't have medium on the kit, which I thought they might have checked. And also possibly going to the Warriors, or possibly doing the Warriors Storm tomorrow night, Hamish, says Nuzzy Williams. I was hoping to, but then I also saw that the Commonwealth Games 7s will be starting up at approximately the same time. So at that time, I'm just going to have a quick look and see what they are, and also give a kid a Melbourne Stars jersey. Might as well introduce him to heroin as well. The full homeless without a future package, says Sebastian. And Bear Stars from Yorkshire, says Darren. Oh, I got a reality check yesterday, not to do with heroin. Don't panic. But I learned that if you want a house loan, like from any bank, they charge you plenty of interest, don't they? That's a good shot from Bairstow. Bang goes straight over the top for 6 runs. Like, I learned that if you get a like $5,000 or $500,000 loan for a house, you will be paying back close to $1 million if you do take 25 to 30 years to pay it off. And I thought, geez, that's unfortunate. I love living with my parents. I hope they know that, because it might be here a while. And if England turn up, they should cruise it, says Darren. And also, through that, says Nazi Williams. And also, Bearstow is from Yorkshire, sorry. And then go to Commonwealth, or go to the Commonwealth Games, always good. See some various sports where we don't see in prime time all the time as well, says Nazi Williams. But the good news is I will be able to keep you guys updated with what is happening in that Warriors game. And depending on what I can organise, because I see we'll probably end up doing the Australia woman versus South Africa woman at 8, and then Fiji versus Scotland at 8:22. New Zealand, Canada is at 9:06. When do the men start? I think it's Australia versus Jamaica, I think is the first match. For the men, yeah, that's 9:28. And then Uganda played Kenya. So if it wasn't for a couple of those women's games, we could actually do the Warriors and then jump into the commentary. Wow. Milan hits a flat 6 to the leg side. That sounded so sarcastic. That sounded like I was channeling my inner Owen Wilson with the wow. But that was a good shot. It just stayed flat. It went ba-bang. And David Milan gets it. And all kids from Melbourne should be Renegades fan. It teaches some good life lessons such as life's not fair. And they learn the true meaning of loyalty and patience. It's the thing. When you stick with the side and you see their highs and their lows, I feel like that's how you know that it's like a true supporter type thing. And Melbourne Renegades, they went from the mountaintop, then they fell down the mountain, and now they're trying to get back up the mountain without falling back down. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes. How's it? Oh, my scoreboard's back. That's good news. Am I back yet? Not really. I'm just, I turned the lights off. That's not my camera. Hello, I'm back again. Don't panic. I just don't know what happened. And also, how's Sir George keeping? He's good. Overall, he's been working hard. He's heading to Southland today for some family thingy that he told me about. Although he didn't tell me exactly what it was. He just said it was a family thing. So I think it might be just a reunion because quite a few of his family's from Southland. I really hope South Africa wins, says so. And also Melbourne Renegades were once good. Try being a Melbourne Rebels fan, never been good, says Xavier Brown there. And you have stuck with him every step of the way, which is very noble of you. Oh, that one didn't really go where Bairstow was after. It didn't really go too high either. Hopefully you guys can see my face again. Maybe. If it didn't cut out. I always sway to see whether or not my frame rate's all right. That turned very Australian real quick. But I actually, yesterday when I was filming my lineups and whatnot, I actually had to stop because my camera was flickering for some weird reason. That's a shot from Bairstow straight out to the man. It's gone over his head, and that will be disappointed for Shamsi. And also, if you want to teach someone elite class loyalty, have them become a Zebra fan. And yes, there, Sebastian. Yeah, that is also a tough road. And you're not wrong there, Sebastian. Here you go, kid. That's in you. Says Nathan. That's a nice shot from Johnny Bairstow. Is that Owen Morgan in the commentary? Maybe. And also we have got there, doesn't walk into the bakery in the morning, count as morning exercise. Can't see why not, eh? Says Nazi Williams. I like the way you are thinking outside of the box, Nazi Williams. That's the thing. Me and George the other day, we went for a walk at the park. It was very nice. And so was the KFC we had afterwards. Hoorah, you know, you got to sometimes treat yourself with these things. I did actually go on the treadmill yesterday, though, with no KFC involved. So I feel like that's really, you know, when you're talking about just grinding it out, treadmill with no KFC after, it's pretty tough, you know. Johnny Bairstow's pointing at people. What are you pointing at, Johnny? Saying there's a man in front of the sight screen. Get rid of him or I will. I wouldn't probably want to get in the way of Johnny Bairstow. He is a bit scary when he gets going. Just heard apparently Matt Tamua is heading to Japan. I did see he is leaving the Rebels, unfortunately. So I wonder who they'll bring in for that one, and what are your local, or what are the local culinary hotspots in your neck of the woods, same as says the Big V8 show. So, okay. So I know that we've got a place that does Indian food. We've got a place that does Chinese food and fish and chips. We've got a bakery and a couple restaurants. I think that's about it, to be honest. We don't have Uber Eats or anything along those lines, but, you know, you can get food if you need it. I feel like that's a great slogan for a new town. You can get food if you need it. But yeah, we have like supermarket and whatnot as well, of course. But like nothing too fancy overall. Like the one on the main street, you'd say is probably the fanciest. And then that also runs the bakery across the road, which is also across the road from the police station. So don't steal from the bakery. And anyone who does try that, they don't know the location of the town, you know. You got to know the lay of the land, everything like that. No scouting missions being done. Just like they're playing. Do you do scouting missions in Payday? I know that game involves robbing banks, but I don't think they rob banks and bakeries. And that Chinese place next to the bottle store kind of says Nazi Williams. Yeah. Have you been there, Nazi Williams? It's next to Super Liquor. Because, of course, when you can't eat, you drink. And then there's plenty of drink there. And does New Zealand have states or provinces? We have provinces. So the Bunnings NBC National Provincial Championship is coming back very soon. And Indian food, Chinese food, and fish and chips. It's enough to colonise a deserted place, says Sebastian. I'll have a crispy pork roll from the bakery, says Nazi Williams. Or sorry, that was actually Nathan. I know that they charge about $8 for a pie, which is questionable, but apparently they're quite big pies. I haven't actually had a pie from there. I once went to somewhere that's a sports bar, or it calls itself a sports bar. It's got one TV, but they ID'd me to buy a pie because they didn't have someone at the bakery counter. So I had to go to the main bar counter. But because I was at the main bar counter, I needed my ID to purchase a pie. It's the only pie I've ever got from there, fun fact. But yeah, I had to get ID'd. It's lucky I was 18. What, you're going to turn me down a pie because I'm 17? What's the go there? No kebab joint with those Giants vertical rotisseries. Oh, now I think there was talks of one. We've had one in the past, but it disappeared. I think it became Super Liquor. Maybe there's one down there. I haven't actually seen anyone in there, though. But we might have a place for Turkish. And Aussie pies are better than New Zealand pies. Are they? I've heard that it's hard to get the pastry right in Australia due to like the humidity and just the pure heat that you get. The pastry doesn't quite crispen up and it's not really as light. That's what I've heard. Don't judge me on that. I didn't actually try a pie over there, which is something I should have done. That's a nice shot from Dava Milan. I've noticed that we always find a way of going back to food on these live streams, and I think that's a great thing to do near breakfast time. And thoughts on Rory Arnold being selected for the Wallabies tour of Argentina will be very interesting. See how he does end up going. He's just got like the frame to be great in the Wallabies. You know, I thought maybe Will Skelton might have gone a look in for an option if they were to pick out Arnold and Skelton, or Arnold or Skelton, I should say. But yeah, it's going to be epic to see how they go in Argentina. And because we got orders of Georgie Pie from Sydney, says Nathan, no way, brother, no way. Kiwis pies all the way. And rotisseries of mystery meat, says the Big V8 show. Yeah, what is it? You know, sometimes you think it's beef, but it's really like, it's chicken sometimes, isn't it? Like, how does it become so perfectly rotist? Is that a word? Rotist? rotated, I guess you'd say, wouldn't you? Yeah, because what is it? I'm going to look it up. It's got my brain. What type of meat is on that Turkish pole? There we go. What kind of meat is on that Turkish pole? Hand cut. Okay. Various accomplishments. Nazik kebab. Kebab. I didn't know it was kebab rather than kebab. They actually have a P at the end for Turkish kebabs. It's a good shot from Bairstow. Oh, yeah, there's cricket going on too. No cats or dogs, just meat from cows, says Nathan there. And the Asian pie is the bomb, and South African food is something to behold. Nothing like it. That's the thing. I've been invited to many braais, and I'm certainly going to take that opportunity if I ever head to South Africa. Kebab is society in Afrikaans. Hopefully I've said that correctly. It might be a little bit wrong, though. It's supposed to be shreds of lamb, beef, or chicken on a vertical spit. That's a shot from Milan. Boy, that's gone big. And that will be another 6 runs. England really ramping up their run rate now, and that might almost bring up the 100 with it just around the corner of the partnership. 53 from 31 balls. My scoreboard's been slow. There we go. What's your favourite holiday destination in the world? Oh, holiday destination, favourite one, I assume, is that I've been to, Coding, or that I would like to go to? Do let me know first. I do like Australia, though. Like Melbourne, when we went for the MCG Boxing Day test, like, it's just very fun. And it's very, like, I guess you could say, because we were in a slightly suburban area, it just feels homish. You know, is that a word? You see yourself setting up there. Not me, because I'd need a home loan and have to pay back $1 million. It's unfortunate, isn't it? And the lamb, or that lamb with garlic sauce, is the, and multiple spellings. The popular one you're thinking of is doner kebab. And there as well, says the Big V8 show. And also MCG Melbourne Cricket Ground, says Nathan. And you wish you can go, oh, okay, wish I could go. Ooh, that was wonky. And they're going to take the single as well. De Kock has taken a bump on the finger. It's a wide as well. That makes it worse. But that I'd like to go. I would love to be able to go. I'd love to go to Fiji, because I did actually miss out on a Fijian trip a few years ago, going to Denarau. So that would be quite a cool place to go, because they have some nice resorts set up there that you can just chill out on the whole time. But other than that, I mean, I always see areas in Europe that I'm like, geez, that looks nice. Greece is another place that looks very nice as well. But I've got a lot of places I wouldn't mind going. That's 10 overs down in this match already. 98 for 2. And kebab. And there as well says the Big VHO, and also Hamiosh. Is that how you wrote it? Yeah. And also we've got ours Donna, and is she still bowling each week? Says Darren, she's doing pretty well. She will currently be sleeping at this point in time, but she hasn't been doing too much lawn bowls. Currently, the lawn bowls green is actually flooded over. But she was playing for South Canterbury, but I think she has stepped back from her position in the South Canterbury bowls side. And is now just doing it every once in a while. And wherever the hot females are, says Nazi Williams. And he's still planning to come to Formula One in Melbourne, says Xavier. I am hoping to with Isaac eventually. We've also got something else in the works that I don't think I can spoil too much, but there's something big that we're trying to do that I've had to send out like almost proper business emails for, which is weird because I'm terrible at writing like formal stuff. So I just start with hello there, and then I don't know whether or not that makes me go down in the rankings of who they want to reply to, but we're trying to work out some sort of plan with Isaac. But yeah, Formula One would be pretty awesome to be able to go to, even if it's only like you go to for a little bit of time, because I think he said that it's like $800 for 3 or 4 days. So even if I go there for one day and then just hang around Melbourne for a few other days would be pretty awesome. All females are hot when you're pissed. That's how I roll, says Sebastian there. South Africa weather is outstanding, not in the winter, says Hanley now. And I'm eating chicken biltong. Oh, so Esbok, chicken biltong, beef biltong. Is there also lamb biltong, or does that not exist? out of those three, which one is the best? Like, if someone had to only get one little tiny, like, piece of it, they're only allowed one piece in their lifetime, what would be the go-to? Sorry, I must have heard that wrong. A bloody Manly. And their rainbows, no disrespect, says Nazi Williams there. Yeah, I did see that that's causing quite the stir for the Manly versus Broncos game. That's actually taking place later tonight. If I wasn't going to be waking up extremely early, I would consider also doing that one. Or do you wake up next day and it's a Ladyboy Seb? There's Nazi Williams. That's a good point. I Google which country has the most beautiful females. Turkey comes first. Hamish, go to Turkey. Says coding there as well. Do some vlogging, you think? Maybe. And also, at least I know I'm in Thailand, Nazi. Says Sebastian. You know when you feel like you could say so much, but you know you shouldn't? That was one of those moments that I just giggled away to myself and said, yep, we'll accept that. But have you been watching the UFC, boys? Do let me know if that is something you'd like to see on the Kiwi Lad Sport channel in the future. Maybe in Serbian girls in Melbourne. That was close to an LBW for Dava Milan. I know that this weekend there's a few big fights, including Kai Kara France getting his opportunity up against Brandon Moreno, and then also Amanda Nunes going to be in the main event trying to take down... Who's she fighting? She's fighting the champ. Is it Pena? No, not Pena. What's her name? I've forgotten her name. It's not good, is it? Now, bit of a swipe at that one. It's gone down to the man at fine leg and just the single. And if you go to Fiji, surely go win the draw play. And it's Greek girls in Melbourne. Says Nathan. Or sorry, says Xavier in there as well. The moment spin, we've seen quite a few boundaries. Anytime the spinners have pitched it short and USCB good, Blood Diamond in as well, I think. There's a Nazi Williams. That's a nice shot. Now, nicely fielded, just taking the single down the ground. But yeah, there are quite a few big fights coming up. Did you see? I think there's a massive card coming near the end of the year, possibly with Hamzat Chimaev, and I think he's fighting Nate Diaz, isn't he? Which will be an interesting matchup. And also on that card, I want to say there's a few other big ones. I know that Luke Rockhold is facing Yoel Romero very soon, or kind of in a couple months' time. South Korea money is so crazy. I stayed in a nice hotel for $1 million, one for the week, which is only 13K South African Rand. So it's only now. So that's only like, is that 130 New Zealand dollars somewhere around there? That is very cheap. Because we went to Bali a good probably 10 years ago. Maybe not a good 10 years ago, maybe like 8 to 6 years ago sometime. I think it might have been closer to 8 when I was a little ball of happiness. That sounds like I'm not now. I'm just not quite a ball. But, like, yeah, it was very cheap. Like, you get a pizza, chips, drink, all that, and you could get it for like $10. And like it would be all good, you know, and then you'd eat more chips, because I was at that stage, I was a fussy boy, still am, but I was a fussy child, so I just have garlic bread and chips, you know, so that was pretty cheap overall. You could even get it while you were in the pool, which seemed a bit extreme, but you could. And beef biltong is traditionally what people eat, says Esbok, and also Greek girls who says Nathan, and also girls about money, no heart. And there's Nathan. Harley Maharaj, he has gone for 31 runs off his 4 overs. He is the only bowler who has finished his spell. And alongside him, we have seen a few wickets for Nyeri. See a Liam Livingston behind a South African man's buttocks. And also Moen Ali in there as well. Bairstow, 51 on his back. Can he get more than 51 at the crease? Perhaps, but now it is going to be Fifluk Whale. Hopefully I've said that correctly. That is a tough name, and most women are these days, Nate. Says Nazi Williams as well. But the 100 has been brought up for England as well, I should mention. 101 for 2. I've missed these cricket live streams, how we just have casual chats. And it's slightly slower paced than the rugby. I feel like for the rugby, I just like kind of talk a lot. Whereas like the cricket ones, you kind of get more of a chance to read and like kind of learn stuff as well, I guess you could say. So, yeah, I think we're going to be trying to fit in a few more cricket ones. I know that Sebastian talked to me about the Women's Cricket World Cup coming up. And yes, we'd have money with 100K on them and millions on them. You feel so rich, but it doesn't have any value, says Hanley Nell. And also we have got their not women's girls who haven't matured, says Nathan. Nice one. Once again, hit down the ground. They take the single there for England. I wonder if it's raining at the moment. I don't think it is, but I think it's supposed to. Unfortunately, it's just wet most of the time. What we got today, 30% chance of rain at 6 p.m., 30% chance of rain at 7 p.m., and then Friday's also 40%. But other than that, we're actually almost to a nice week until Friday next week. So pretty much any time it's the weekend, it's going to be wet, which is nice. But actually a low of 6 next weekend. That's something we have talked about doing, just as like a, not so much a piss take, but just a interesting thing. We were thinking about doing some sort of news broadcast for the Kiwi lads, because we watched Anchorman and Anchorman 2, and then George was like, should we do that? And I was like, yeah, all right. But we never did it, unfortunately. So maybe one day we'll consider telling you the weather for our town that no one needs to really know, because it's quite small. Whoa, that's a nice shot from Milan. And he has smacked it all the way for 6. That should be worth 7 with how far that one's gone. Nicely done by Milan. He moves up to 39. Question, Nazi Williams. So have you actually been to the Chinese food place on the main street? Or have you just passed through Waimati, perhaps? Do let me know, because it is a small place. And $1 is 10 South African Rand, so you can get wild over here when you visit, says Harley Nell. Yeah, I would like to have a few rand in my pocket. How much does a house cost, Harley Nell, on average? What's your kind of average price for a house? Do let me know. Because in New Zealand, it's about, I want to say it's residential, about 800,000. Now, that's a good shot as well. And David Milan at the moment showing why he was ranked #1 T20 cricketer in the world. I think he might still be there as well, isn't he? That's a nice shot. So far, the boundaries in this match, we have had 4 4s, 9 6s. So that tells you how short the boundary can be and how much power these Englishmen have got in their forearms and their bats. It's a nice shot. Cover drive, lofted. And it does go for another boundary. Now, I said that England wouldn't get 200, but I think that now I might have to take that back because they're getting kind of close. 4 4s, 9 6s, like they said. Oh, it's an edge, though, and Milan is gone. And I jinxed that big time. I apologize, Sebastian. Speaking of hooking girls, mate of mine tried to chat up line, do you like parrots? Because you seem to enjoy it. Oh, and it worked. Well done, him. Good on him. You know, sometimes it depends on the lady friend of whether or not they like that one or not, I guess you could say. Milan, unfortunately, edging that one through. And nah, mate, normally when there's a Chinese takeaways, there's a bottle store not far, says Nazi Williams. Oh, damn. So you just guessed and it worked. Yeah, it's literally like 2 places down, although there is room for the Lord in between. I think there's like not a Christian meeting place, but it's some sort of like Christian building. So it kind of goes Chinese, Christian, alcohol. That's the order. And then it used to go Chinese, Christian, alcohol, or Turkish at the time. It's also been a bakery. They've had quite a few things in there. And then it used to be Video Easy. So you could get yourself a rental. You get yourself some booze, but I was 5, so you couldn't. And you say cheers to the Lord, and then you go to the Chinese place and get yourself a chicken fried rice. And if you want to rent a decent house in South Africa, it will cost you 15K a month. Okay, so that is 1,500 New Zealand dollars. Okay. That's a little bit, and also a nice balance, says Nazi Williams. Yeah, so it's just a bit for everyone in this town, you know. Milan's not happy with the fact that he didn't get that one right. The bowler is. He got the wicket, didn't he? Now, Rabada comes back into the bowling attack. Going to be nicely hit to the leg side from Milan. No, it's not Milan. He's out. But Bairstow, he's now at the crease. Alongside him, he has got his buddy in Moeen Ali. And the big question is, are we going to see some big shots from Moeen Ali early like we normally do, or is he going to have a little bit more of a more extended innings? But with small boundaries, like they're saying, he's just going to go bang. He can see the hotel behind. He'll try and break a few windows. He doesn't have to pay for them, does he? As you can see, there's the kind of setup behind me. Set that one along the ground. That ain't breaking no windows. Moeen Ali, that is 1 ball faced, 0 runs. I don't think that's going to stay that way for long, though. This man loves to swing the cricket bat. And also, but if you want to buy a nice house in South Africa to stay and live in forever, it will cost over 1 to 10 million rand. See, that's the thing. 1 to 10 ain't too bad, because that's 100,000 New Zealand to 1 million New Zealand. So I guess depending on what region you go for, it may actually work out to be cheaper, because I know that New Zealand house prices are up about 28% in the last year, and that's quite a bit, unfortunately. So you're looking at an average house price of over 500,000 pretty much anywhere around. But luckily there are a few cheaper ones. But I found a house that I was like, this is like the Kiwi lad's pad and a half. Me and George the other day, we actually drove past it, had a look. But unfortunately, it's a bit of money. It's kind of up there, but it's got like a good backyard. Like, there's so much room for videos. It's got a nice layout, but it's $800,000. So that ain't happening, unfortunately. Not unless we come into an absolutely incredibly large sum of money anytime soon. Moeen Ali, he likes that one. That one's gone for 4 runs to the leg side. His recent innings have been cut short. I'm hoping he can produce something here, says Sebastian, and also Hamish. As Crusaders getting their own indoor rugby stadium, I have heard rumours that it might be indoors, but also it's just going to be a different stadium. Well, like that's me for a minute. Kiwi lads, whanau church. Says Nazi Williams, an evening all. Says Gareth, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. What you thinking of South Africa's performance so far? Can you see them chasing down the 200 that they may require in this contest? And I was like, hey, here he is. There's Nathan, and also, yeah, but South Africa is corrupt, so you would be lucky to get to pay over 30k to 50k a month. Says Hanley now. And evening, Gareth, says Sebastian there. That is the end of the 13th over, and it is 120 for 3 here for England. So good start to the match overall. You'd have to say Josh Buttler, when he did lose his wicket early on, seemed like there might have been a little bit of a hiccup in the way that the English batting lineup would attack this game, but instead they've just continued going bang. Okay, Shamsi coming back into the bowling attack. He's gone for 35 runs of his 2 overs. And also that face from Nathan. Is that for the 800,000 house thing? But yeah, it was a real nice, like, I could just see videos being filmed flat out in it. And I was like, leave it out. Says Nathan. And there as well. But I think that's going to be eventually the plan, is to go somewhere or have some sort of Kiwi lads house. It might be like 25 years away because of house prices. Like, they might cost us a lot, but maybe eventually, it's good to have a goal overall. But yeah, 20% deposit on a lot of houses, that's quite a bit when they are costing you over $500,000. Bairstow on strike. Shumsey went for a single. He wouldn't mind a few more of those, seeing as he has gone for 36 off 13 balls. Okay, Bairstow once again is going to beat up that guy who's standing in front of the sight screen. He's not too happy with him. Bairstow takes a deep breath. And that one's a wide. He's going to have to bowl that one again. Bairstow looks unfazed. Went a bit off, wasn't it? Radar not quite there for Shamsi throughout this matchup. Unfortunately, he's been attacked big time. Every time he strays too full, 6 runs. That one, it's shorter. It's a better one, but I think Bairstow's just pierced the gap. Luckily, there is a fielder out there, but they will still get back for 2. Good running between the wickets from Ali and Bairstow. It was the captain Miller. Normally, I mean, he doesn't normally drop too much in the air, but he has actually misfielded that one. Right, Quinton de Kock there went, which I think means someone had to move. There might be some sort of game plan coming up now. I mean, if the game plan was to have Johnny Bairstow smack it to leg side, it kind of worked. It just didn't quite end up carrying to the man at deep mid-wicket. Now, Moeen Ali, I think he'll go after Shamsi. There's one thing that spinners love, and that is hitting other spinners for six. It's just like, it's part of the DNA. If you hit another spinner for six, you own the bragging rights up against that spinner until he gets you out. Shamsi going to bowl it wide outside off stump, too wide, and it is going to be another extra run for England. They will be liking this very much. Currently, run rate sitting at 9.33. Very impressive for them throughout the early stages. It's currently 6:30 a.m. here in New Zealand, so it'll probably get light about halfway through this game, which will be interesting to see if we're going to get a nice warm day or whether it will be 2 degrees, which I think is more than likely the case. Wow. He's had a bit of a swing at that one, Moeen Ali, but it's gone to the leg side. That will just be the single once again. He's trying to hoik it over the leg side for the 6. He's sitting on 8 off 6 currently, Moeen Ali. It was on the right length and he didn't quite get away. I'm always watching Shamsi bowl in awe. How many slow left-arm orthodox bowlers do you see on international level? He's really unique with a left-arm leg spin. He's a joy to watch. Wait, is he a joy to watch because he's just been hit for 6, Sebastian? Probably not. I would assume that was written out beforehand. But yeah, it's such a rarity at international level. Like you mentioned, like domestic-wise in New Zealand, I think we've got about 6 or 7. But it's those guys who turn it into international that is such a small margin. Like, it's a tough job, as Shamsi's finding out. Like, in one game, he'll be world-class. In another game, he'll bowl the exact same, but the batsman will go, you know what, we don't like you too much. We're just going to smack you for 6 runs. And that's what Bairstow did. He's going to be smacking him towards the mid-wicket boundary as well. And they do end up just getting the single. 14 from the over. Was that the last ball? Yes, it was. And Shamsi is stranded on 49 runs. Might have to wait till his next over. Bring up the half century. Bairstow on 48, though, so relatively close to being able to go through and get himself yet again another half century in the short format. The best time to find form just before a World Cup, and the World Cup not too far away now, between New Zealand, England, Australia, South Africa, Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, West Indies, Bangladesh. I just realized halfway through that I was going to have to list every nation. Probably Ireland going to be in there. A few other teams. Scotland might end up in there. Netherlands. Quite a few teams around. A big question now, Hamish, if you had played a KFC chicken plate with a Big Mac on it and a plate of avocado salad, well, which one would you choose and which one would Sir George choose? Okay, well, as I mentioned, I'm quite fussy. So the thing is, I would probably have to bargain with George, you see. I would have to offer him something else to make him take the Big Mac rather than the KFC chicken, because I don't like Big Macs, mainly because I'm too fussy, so I'd have to get the sauce and everything along those lines out of it. So I'd be like, hey, George, can I have the chicken, but I'll get you a chocolate bar? And he'd be like, yeah. So that would work. So I'd get the chicken, he'd get the Big Mac and the avocado salad. I mean, I don't mind avocado, but it's just if they're all being paid for, you know what one's the more expensive one? Although my mum actually informed me that New Zealand have one of the cheapest Big Macs around, and the USA, they actually have one of the most expensive, but that is because theirs are a lot bigger than ours when it comes to the Big Mac. Bairstow, I think that's just going to be a buy. It was a nice little finger spinner that looked wide. Bairstow on 48. Looking set and ready to bring up a half century. Nice shot out through cover. If it broke the field, he would have been able to get back, but he will be stranded on 49 now at the non-striker's end. Moeen Ali on strike, 8 off 6. Have to wait and see how he ends up going. So George walks away with a Big Mac and a chocolate bar, decent deal, says Sebastian. Yeah, he'd be pretty happy with that one, I would think. But yeah, like if he had to choose, he'd pick the chicken. But it's more of the case of if we're only allowed like one of each, depending on what's in the avocado salad. Like, I won't lie, if it looks decent, I might consider having it. Like, but it depends on what it is, because now that you think about it more, like, oh, Mo and Ali goes bang, and that's another 6. And it's taken, I think, one-handed as well by the man in the crowd. But now England move up to 142. 142. He kind of looks like Daryl Mitchell's brother, who's in the crowd currently. He's very happy with that beef biltong with a fat, tasty, yummy in there as well, says Alta. But yeah, see, that's the thing. Lettuce is worth a lot of money now. So maybe the lettuce would be the most expensive plate out of that group. Like, I know that KFC at the moment have got that thing out there. Like, sometimes you may get lettuce, sometimes you may not. Sorry. That's pretty much what they write on their thing. Oh, and Ali. 14 off 7, so he's going to be attacking just like he always is. He set it down the ground. Has he found a gap? He sure has, and that's going to be another 4 runs. England now looking to increase their run rate just a little bit more. They are sitting currently on a 9.95 run rate here. This is going to be tricky for South Africa to kill this momentum of Mo and Ali and Johnny Bairstow, because both are striking at a frantic rate. Bairstow sitting on 49 off 35. Whereas you got Mo and Ali sitting on 18 off 8 now. And he doesn't look like he's finished for this over. And also, it's going to be a decent total from England. Time to see what the bowling attack can do, says Sebastian. So I guess question Sebastian. Bowler who takes the most wickets, who do you think will be able to do so? Slower ball there. And Mo and Ali gets the single. And also the South African flags from Alta there. I'll quickly read off who is going to be in that English bowling attack as well for you. I know that they've got a Curran in there. I can't remember if it's Scott or Tom. I think it's Scott Curran. And there, one moment. We'll go like this and like this. So England's lineup for the bowling. They have got Mo and Ali. They may, does Roy get a little? No, it's Liam Livingston, sorry, who does normal. I disappeared for a second. Now I'm small. Hey, what's up with that? It just shrunk me. A bit weird, wasn't it? But they have also got, where are they? There they are. Livingston, Sam Curran, Chris Jordan, Adil Rashid, Reece Topley, and also Gleeson. And then also with Australia having shortage on lettuce, they should replace lettuce for cabbage and McDonald's burgers, says Nathan. See, that's the thing. I know that they were at some stage doing that. But then I think they were just like, should we just not bother? And I think they just decided that was the way to go. But it's a 50 for Johnny Bairstow. Well batted, mate. He's done very well. 36 balls it's taken in to get that 50. Johnny Bairstow, he has earned every run and win, huh? Says Nathan. And also, because I'm a lanky boy, I got to go with Gleeson, Lancashire. Lancashire. I can't say the Shire. The Shire gets me every time. Lancashire. Power. But like, I mean, cabbage, if you're not watching, it probably, like, you probably wouldn't notice it in your burger and whatnot. But if you're like trying to pick it out, like, I guess some people were like, this isn't lettuce, this is cabbage. And they're like, yep, we told you it would be. And they're like, no, I want my money back. So maybe that's why they stopped doing the cabbage. Because everyone was complaining because they don't like cabbage as much as lettuce. Makes you wonder how much effort it would take to grow a lettuce in your backyard. I don't know, because we've done it before. It's the bugs that are the killers, because they just go through them. And it's like the Hungry, Hungry Caterpillar. I remember that book as a child. That was a brilliant book. Don't know who wrote it, but the Hungry Caterpillar, boy, it could get through some fruit and veg. Probably a good advocate for 5 a day, really. Bairstow hits it down the ground. It's going to be nicely done. Once again by South Africa, just a single off that delivery. But yeah, I know we've grown strawberries before in the backyard, but then the cat sat on the box that the strawberries were in and kind of dented it. So it's very flat now. unfortunately. But nothing wrong with a few raspberries and whatnot. I think we've had them in the backyard before. And also, what do you think about Big Fletcher getting a shot in the AB's jersey, says Max Cottle there. It is quite cool to see him get the chance, and I believe the reasoning behind it is with Jason Ryan being the forwards coach, it just kind of makes sense that it was either going to be him or Tamaiti Williams. And I guess they've gone with someone that they feel might be a little bit stronger in the scrum, more than likely. With Ofa Tuangafasi out, you've got Nepo Lolala, Angus Ta'aval, and I have a question about Angus Ta'aval. Is it a 3-week ban or a 3-match ban? I want to say it was 3 weeks, but does that mean he's allowed to play up against South Africa in the first match? Or better still, it's that nice, and that's the 6 runs. Once again, as if people who go to Mackie D's care about the vegetables in the burger, get a grip, lad, says it was Sebastian. Yeah, that's the thing, though. People, like, if there's a way that they can complain, they will complain. You know, if you had a chocolate bar and there was a little tiny bit of it that was missing chocolate on the outside, people would write a letter and say, this is unacceptable. And also, Josh Dixon can't wait to see what he does. This should be out. It's been dropped. Bairstow survives a little bit longer. Unfortunately, the mistake that could cost them big time there, South Africa. But yeah, Josh Dixon coming over as injury cover. Tyrell Lomax as well. So I think he will be the other option. They'll probably go Nepo Lolala, Tyrell Lomax as their 2 boys to go with in that first one. But unfortunately, just the mistake. Johnny Bairstow put down. It's going to be hit down the ground. And that will be the single. Once again, I think England are getting 200 here. They seem like they're really going for it. And I think Braden Inn was the last one, isn't he? Because Jack Goodhue not going to South Africa. Right, I saw an English lad in the crowd and Enor in the midfield, says Max. And Josh Dixon is a class hooker. He'll be fine in there as well, says Sebastian. Sure, that's a big one. But has he got enough? He sure does. It's another 6 from Owen Ali. Or are you thinking of Ash Dixon maybe? Sebastian, they did both play for the Highlanders, but he is a little bit taller. He is one of the locks. And take a punt at my age, Hamish. I would say you are 21, even though you are you're a pitcher that's about that big. Whoops. That was an inappropriate gesture. Yeah, you're a pitcher that's about that big, so it's quite hard to see a lettuce or cabbage. What's the diffs? Who cares? Eating McDee's in this, says Nathan. And Asian, how many overs left for England? Says Ollie. Oh, boy, that's a nice shot from Moeen Ali. Oh, it's been cut off. Nicely done. Or has he? Oh, he almost had it roll over. They will get back for 2. This partnership's up to 56 of 28 balls. This is going fast for England, just like my talking currently, but with 16 overs down, 168 for 3. There were 20 runs scored off that over. England are slowly ramping it up and also turning 19 in November 24, so close. There's Max there as well. And that's Ash Dixon. No speak English is streamer. Going to show game quicker, please. That's right. We knew who you meant. And I agree with you. Where is Ash Dixon? He's gone to Japan. That man probably deserved an All Blacks call-up more than anyone else for what he has done for the Highlanders. So at least it wasn't too far off, you know? Same team, just bigger one and smaller one, isn't it? Currently, if they go 12 and over from here for the English, they will get to 216, which you'd have to argue would almost be enough up against South Africa, but also that ground is horrible. It is so small, says Hanley. Now it is, which does mean that South Africa's big hitters will be able to make the most of it. I believe around the whole ground, your biggest boundary is about 75, your smallest is about 60. I think it's just 60 actually to the side. Come on, Proteas. Says, it's a big shot from Bairstow. He sent it again. And it's going to be another 6 from Bairstow. He moves up to 66 runs. There's a lot of 6s being scored today. That is about the 11th or the 12th or the 13th. I've lost track how many we've seen. But like they're saying, the 2 drop catches of Johnny Bairstow, that will certainly hurt them here. That was trying to head straight towards the hotel. That's the thing. If you had a hotel, you would just invite all your friends over, wouldn't you? Because it's free entry. In a way, you just pay a small amount of money towards the hotel, which I assume would be relatively expensive. Now that I think about it, if you're right at the cricket and send it woo, says Ollie there. Now, 174 runs for England. That would be a pretty good total after 20 overs. Oh, no, you can't put it in the slot to Bairstow when he's hitting it like this. That's another 6. He's almost, that ball's gone. Someone's going to need a new one. That one, but Bairstow has absolutely spanked that ball to the boundary. 72 runs he moves up to. Johnny's firing. He certainly is. He's fired in all formats, hasn't he, Johnny Bairstow? Found some of the form of his life. He'll be wanting to bring it into the T20. He's just going bang, 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 bang. It's a good shot. The crowd, they saw that it was leaving. That kind of looked like Jimmy Pearson, the captain of the Brisbane Heat in the crowd. Speaking of that, BBL coming back in only a few more months, but we have seen 3 6s in the last 8 balls. Now, what have we got here? 2 6s in a row. They need a new ball because Johnny's lost that one. Although they're saying that's the sight you like to see as a batsman, a new ball being brought out, I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. Because if this ball doesn't come off the bat, it's nice for Johnny Bairstow. He could find himself in a bit of trouble, even though it's hard to not hit it as well as he's hitting it at the moment. Sebastian White for South Africa. There's Alta there, and also how many overs left. Says Ollie, we have still got ourselves another 3.4 overs, so another 20 balls left or so. Or 22 to be exact. So Johnny Bairstow, if you give him 22 more balls, he could get you another 30 runs. He could bring up the century here, Bairstow, unless, of course, this new ball doesn't quite come off the bat the way that the last did. Right. Bairstow on strike, 6-6. There are only a few limited times that we have seen 6 6s in an over of T20. Could this be another one? No, because it's a wide. Well, how's that work? Now, well, I guess it still could be 6 6s. And also, he recently said in an interview that he'll keep going strong in all formats until his body gives up. It won't favour a certain format and drop the rest. Says Sebastian, was that before or after Ben Stokes got rid of his short format game, Sebastian? It might have been, I'd assume, before, because or else that just sounds like shots fired straight at your skipper. But, yeah, at the end of the day, Bairstow, he proved throughout the Ashes that even if his body isn't working, he still is. And he will try his absolute best. That's another wide bowl. So this over, at the moment, has gone for 14 runs. And he's getting very close to bringing up his half century as well. Oh, the bowler's disappeared. What happened to him? They've stolen the bowler. Is he like pulled up? Maybe he said his hammy's a bit tight or something. No, he's still going. It's just they've said, nah, he's not doing it anymore. Running in. Oh, Bairstow, he tried to chase that one. I don't know whether or not he's got enough distance on it, though. Oh, it's dropped. Oh, my. It's dropped. That was the easiest of the catches. As I've said, that's a mistake. That wasn't quite how you say mistake. Unfortunately, that's their 3rd chance to catch Bairstow. And it's gone straight to him. Dolly's had a fumble. And it's gone down. And yeah, he was having to dig at the test skipper, says Sebastian. And there as well. Oh, that's not good. Hendricks has put it down. I'll wait for it, says Nathan. And there's but now if Bairstow gets more runs, like he's laughing at the crease because he knows he should have been gone about 5 overs ago. But they've dropped 3 catches of Bairstow. Partnership moves up to 71 off 33. They only ran a single. Bairstow thought he was done for. Ali, he's gone big, and that hurts just a little bit more. Moeen Ali hits it for 6. He sent it up to the hotel. He said, you can have it on the 2nd tier. This can come with your complimentary beverage. It's a good shot from Moeen Ali. Didn't try and overstrike the ball, just watched it onto the bat, gave it a bit, and then it's 50 for the bowler as well, which is the last thing you want to be clapped for in a T20 as a bowling. That's a good shot. That's a very nice shot. We're seeing some good batting from England here. But you would have to wonder, how different could this have been if they had taken the catch of Bairstow? Body my nose says Alta, yeah, it's getting pretty hectic. And also happy for Moeen finding his form again, says Sebastian. Yeah, perfect time as well. 16 6s in this innings. 16 times 6 is a lot. That is more than I can remember the maths for. 16 times 5 would be 80. They have got Wait, what am I doing? Oh, it's gone up again from Moeen Ali. I don't know whether or not he's got the distance on it. Oh, it's another one. I've got to add 17 now to it. So 17 times 6. This math should be easy, but my brain's gone blank. It is currently very early in the morning. 15 times 6 would be 90. And then add another 2 onto it. We've had 102 runs scored off 6s for England. 102. 102. And they can get to 50. They could do. I like how my comment earlier on about how I don't think England will get to 200 in this game because, yeah, I thought it wouldn't happen, but now it's happening. Moeen Ali sitting on 40 or 14. This is like me on cricket 19 when I set the difficulty down a little bit to try and get some runs. Moeen Ali swings again, shot. That's a ripper, and that's another 6 runs. No one's safe in the crowd at the moment because Moeen Ali is just firing bullets at them, but that is 33 runs off the over. England bring up 200, 201 for 3 with still 18 overs left. And also South Africa fielding is so bad. Embarrassing South Africa cricket here, says Hanley Nell. And yeah, you wonder how different it could have been if the Bairstow catch was taken initially. Moeen Ali decided he wanted to try and hit someone with the ball. It almost hit a small child. But he just swung through. And also, or when you turn the difficulty up and you bowl. True. Very true. That feeling is all too relatable. You do all right on the rookie setting and you're like, you know what? I think I'm getting the hang of the bowling. I'll just knock her up to regular. And then you get tonked around the ground by everyone and you go, maybe I'll go back down to the lower difficulty just for now while I get my confidence back. And 300 strike rate, bonkers mental, says Sebastian. Yeah. Insane for Moeen Ali. Like, I thought Bairstow's 169 was impressive. When you consider that the worst strike rate was Jason Roy, behind that it was Bairstow with 169. This is crazy. That was a full toss. Bairstow's just hoiked it around the corner. He didn't even try. He just put the bat out. And it went to the boundary. Another one for Bairstow. And he might get himself the century. Moeen Ali might get himself the half century. South Africa, they're going to need a big innings from de Kock. And plus the rest of the South African lineup while we're at it. Bairstow, when you're getting it out of the middle of the bat, it just happens repeatedly. He had almost one hand on that one. 243, I think they just said, is the largest total that England have ever got. Bairstow once again with the one hand. Oh, it's dropped again. That was the hardest catching opportunity. I will give him credit where credit is due. It was a tough one, but it's gone to the boundary again. Clarkson hasn't been able to stop it. Jeez. Tougher chance is the comment from Owen Morgan. Oh, but he should be taking it. He should be taking that one, unfortunately. That is another boundary for Bairstow. Clarkson, he'll be disappointed. And the crowd there well and truly getting behind these two at the moment. Yeti, that's a slow ball, well bowled. And it really threw off Bairstow with the slower delivery from Yeti. Or Yeti, sorry. I think Bairstow's saying that was a nice delivery as well. I wonder how quick that one was. Oh, no. Oh, it's a no ball. Oh. It's a front foot no ball. It was the best ball that he's bowled. And it's a big no ball. Now it's a free hit to Bairstow. Last 26 balls, there's been 91 runs with a run rate of 21. South Africa, they need to find a way back into it. And I don't know where it's coming from because now it's a free hit. I thought it was going to be like 180. No ball, Moeen Ali. It's a wide. He's going to have to bowl it again. I'm having Stars versus Strikers vibes, says Sebastian there. Now, you might have to remind me, was that the game where Melbourne Stars got an absolute massive amount? Was that one? And how did the Strikers do? I'm trying to remember because there was also that game where one side got a massive total and as well. Oh, Moeen Ali, I'm small again, but that was not a small shot. Moeen Ali gets another 6. this ground ain't big enough for the two of these boys. Bairstow and Ali, they keep going, and that is another 50. 16 balls. Did they just say, sorry, what was that stat from Michael Atherton? Fastest T20 and fastest half century and T20 internationals there for Moeen Ali. And Butterfield is the fielder. There's Ollie there, yeah. 52 off 16, 2 fours, 6 sixes, strike rate of 325. Glenn Maxwell 156 for the Stars with a record total in the BBL. Ah, yes. That was a big one, wasn't it? I mean, Bairstow, if he gets a bit more of the strike, like they say in Moeen Ali, he only needs 16 balls to be able to go for his 100. That's not the shot he was after, though. And that is a dot ball for Nyeri, who has actually been one of the best bowlers out of the bunch, and he has gone for 34 runs at this point in time. Moeen Ali bringing up their half-century fastest in T20 internationals, they said before. I don't know whether or not that was for England or in general, but if it's in general, massive for Moeen Ali. Now, what is going to happen? The run rate 12.34 the moment here. Ali swings, Ali edges. Unfortunately, that will be the end of Moeen Ali, but what an innings it's been. He's made a bit of history for himself. If this was a no ball, I think I would have to cry just a little bit into my hands, but it is not a no ball. It is a legal delivery, and Moeen Ali's going to be on his way there. And he does have the crowd all on their feet. They have been shown an absolute masterclass from Moeen Ali. He's done his job for his side. He was taken in behind by de Kock. And the ball's faced. He did face 18, 52 runs. And England now 218 for 4. Right, they've sent out, I think that was, who was that? Was that Liam Livingstone? A good knock, Moeen. Nice work, man. Hey, Sebastian. There is, oh yeah, very impressive. Right, Liam Livingstone. This man, he can hit it relatively far as well, can't he? They've got all batsmen, England. But the thing is, they've got a nice balance in their side as well. They go down to about 7 for the batters. And then after that, in their lineup, you still got Sam Curran who can hit it nicely. Chris Jordan, you have to argue, he can smack a long ball. Adil Rashid, if he gets onto it, can go all right. Although from there, you're probably looking at the guys who don't get a huge amount of opportunity for England. South Africa, they're going to have to throw everything into this. Now, Liam Livingstone, 21 matches, runs 342, and the average of 24.43 for Liam Livingstone. He's got 100, was that Trent Bridge? But now, with only 13 balls left, I mean, I don't think he'll get to the 100. I don't think he'll get to 50 either, or else it would be a record broken. Imagine that. Moeen Ali breaks the record, and then his buddy comes out and does it in 13 balls and says, mate, not that hard, is it? Now, Nyeri, it was in the slot, but Liam Livingstone misses a little bit of a slower ball and also almost kind of seamed away. I've disappeared again. That means I go small. I don't know what's up with my camera. It does that every once in a while. I think the camera might have a loose wire or something, unfortunately. So that might be the next purchase for the Kiwi lads. And also, morning, Irish says, Trucking Down Under. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. We are certainly seeing an innings and a half from England here. It started off kind of, well, not really slow, just 9 and over. And now Johnny Bairstow went berserk, got himself up to 82 off 46. I hope you are doing well. Trucking must be 5 a.m. for you, which I guess is kind of normal hour for yourself waking up. Possibly. What are the plans for today? Do let me know. Oh, there's a clip from Sebastian. One moment. I will go like this, and I will go like this, because for some reason my streaming software is like, no, you cannot see clips. But if I go like this, and like this, and click on that. Oh, no, you didn't clip it saying about de Kock, did you? That is a fun clip, Sebastian. You've done well there. And see, how are you, mate? See, he's Trucking Down Under. And there's Al and Morton Truck and says Seb. Swinging through Liam Livingston. He hasn't quite timed it the way that the others have. It will end up giving the strike back to Bairstow, though. So we now sit 220 runs for 4. Oh, question for you guys in Australia as well while I'm at it. What is the average house price for, like, you know, not a fancy house, just an average one for yourselves? Because I learned that it's like a lot here. But is it as much in Australia, or has the house prices not really gone up as much? Bairstow's had another 6. And I was like, brother, how you doing? How are you doing now, says Andy. I'm doing very well. I did wake up at about 5:30, or actually a little bit earlier, about 5, after only a couple hours of sleep. But we're doing pretty well. It's too hot to survive here. Can we please borrow some of that heat? Because it's currently 4 degrees. And it's 7 a.m. So we wouldn't mind a little bit more heat in here, just because we've had flooding as well. So it'd be nice to have a bit of something to calm it down. Wow, that's a Yorker and a half from Rabada. Almost ended up cleaning up Bairstow. Quite the unique dismissal, the way you put it, says Sebastian. It was. I don't think I've heard of another batsman being dismissed in such a manner. But, surely the commentators have slipped up before, though, with Quinton de Kock. Like, it's like Vincent Kock in the rugby, isn't it? How they said about how he's rubbing Vincent Kock or something. I think was the clip, wasn't it? And I was like, yeah, good cheers. Here's Sebastian there. But Quinton de Kock, he's going to need 100 when he makes his way to the crease. Looking through at the batting lineup for South Africa, you have to wonder who will be able to get the job done if they get the job done. And the match is also too hot to see. What a brilliant performance by English batters. Says Andy Mike, yeah, with 7 balls left, Bairstow is 11 short of the half century. Question is, does he have enough time to be able to get it done? He's got enough power, that is for sure. Full toss, he will like that very much, but he has hit it straight out to the fielder. He will retain the strike for the last over, and that is going to be 19 overs down, 227 for 4. The most that South Africa have had an New Zealand have had an international. Did I just say New Zealand? The most that England have had in T20 internationals. Got it the 3rd time round. They have had 243. It depends where you're looking in Australia for homes, says Nathan. What about Melbourne? Melbourne's nice. I like Melbourne. Mainly because of Uber Eats, but also because Melbourne's just nice, isn't it? Markram, he was not playing in this game for South Africa. Also, a few other big names that we're missing from this lineup. So you'd have to wonder whether or not South Africa are putting all their eggs in one basket for the game tomorrow, because in less than 24 hours, these two sides play again, and it's going to have to go a lot better for South Africa. Maybe they look to bat first, and the next one, and I'm happy for Josh Buttler. He needed this as a new skipper. If this target gets chased down, I quit T20 for good, says Sebastian. And I was like, yeah, bro. Here's Nathan there, but yet he's going to be bowling the last over. That was close to the LBW here. Sat down on the pitch and said, I'm not moving till you give it out, umpire. And the umpire says, get up, son. And brother, South Africa to fight back is like, I like their spirit, especially Van der Dusen and Timber Bavuma. Or Babuma, says Andy Mike. Although both of those two players, they have not been selected for this contest. They decided to leave all of their big names out. So it's an interesting choice overall. But yeah, South Africa in the second one, I think they will do very nicely with those guys back. I wouldn't think they'd rest them twice in a row, definitely if they are 1-0 down. Serious, but the run rate currently 11.9 for England. All front on. They are actually checking the LBW. They had a review, so they thought they might as well try it out, see if they can get Bairstow out. For me, that is missing leg stump by quite a bit, about that, I'd say. About a 6-inch sub from Subway, as I like to put it. It's the thing. If you say 6 inches or like 12 inches, people don't really know how big that is. But then if you say like a Subway foot long or a Subway like 6 inch, then people are straight away like, oh yeah. So that's why I use my that's why I use my Subway initiative. I guess you say it's outside leg, and why not cover last English series, says Andy Mike. Who did they play last for England? I think it was just, unfortunately, the time zones just hit us a little bit, because I would have liked to do their series or their last test match up against India. Would have been quite awesome to be able to do it, and also few of those other matches that they did have up against India for the shorter formats. But yeah, it was just the time didn't quite work out. We were in quite a busy period of rugby, but now the rugby's starting to die back a little bit. We've also got the Commonwealth Games around the corner where we will be covering the rugby sevens, maybe a little bit of the women's T20 that is coming up in there. And then alongside that, I'd actually like to do some hockey, possibly. And then I owe Sebastian a beach volleyball live stream. That'll be one that we've got to find. I don't actually know when they are playing, Sebastian, though, so you might have to help me out when those games are taking place. That's an edge. And Liam Livingston's gone. And because of it, Bairstow might be stranded on 90 at the other end. And a Lank and a Yorkie at the crease. Enemies working together for a common cause. So you'd have to wonder, did Bairstow laugh him off the field when he did end up getting dismissed there? 3 balls left in the game. Sam Curran, he will be on strike. And will cover over T20 World Cup this year? Says Andy Mike. I hope I can. I'm still also very hesitant due to a certain channel giving us copyright strikes anytime we try and do Cricket World Cup games. But I'm going to try my best. It will probably be on the Kiwi Lads Sport, though. And then any previews to do with the match will probably go up on this channel type thing. So we'll probably split it a little bit, but the main majority of it will be going up on the Kiwi Lads Sport channel just because of copyright. We don't really want to risk it. Definitely not at the time of the year that it is with all the international rugby going on and Lank is gone. So Sebastian, he is. But it means now that Sam Curran, if he gets himself a single, Johnny Bairstow will have 2 balls to try and get himself the century. And you'd have to say this is actually a very good over so far for Nyidi. He's been able to get himself, I think, 3 or 4 wickets. 4 wickets. He's almost getting a 5 for at the moment, Nyidi. We'll have to wait and see whether or not can get the job done here against Sam Curran, sorry. Charging in. Nyidi, 3 balls left for the 5 for. Oh, he's hit it hard there. Curran, it's been put down, and they will take the single, which now means Johnny Bairstow will have the strike. A 6 and a 4 will get him a century off 54 balls if he can do it. But Bairstow, if he got an applause when he made his way out to the ground when he was sitting on 0, imagine the crowd reaction if he goes on to get himself 60. That's a lie. 60's not a good number. If he gets himself 100, I don't know where 60 came from. And also, the wee gay-looking fella is at the crease. There's a mission there. Now, Bairstow. Deep breaths. Can Bairstow do it? He's going to be swinging for the fences here. It's in the slot. It's gone straight up in the air. Boy, that's high. It's going to be a chance, but if it's like the rest of the game, they'll put this down. He doesn't drop it, though. And Russo takes it. Bairstow's gone on 90. He'll be disappointed that is the way that his innings is finished, but that is a 5 for Nyidi as well. So he has been the shining light in this South African bowling attack alongside Rabada, who's been pretty unlucky not to get himself a wicket throughout the last little while as well. But 90 for Johnny Bairstow. He raises the bat to the crowd. 53 balls faced. 90 runs he was able to get. And now one last ball. I believe Sam Curran will have himself strike for this final delivery. And also, no, like Sam, not when he plays for Surrey, though, Sebastian. And is Tom Curran currently playing county cricket in England, Sebastian, or is he somewhere else? Whereabouts does Tom kind of keep himself when the BBL's not going on? Because I know he plays for the Sixers normally, but when that's not happening, is he playing county cricket or has he got some other plans? Nice take. And that is a good catch from Russo. We've seen many drop catches from South Africa. That ain't one of them. Bairstow goes. 1 ball left. South Africa, they will be able to stop England from getting their highest ever. Oh, they're both Surrey boys. That was a strike from Chris Jordan. They did get through for the single, and that will be the end of this innings. 234 for England. It's going to be a tough run rate. 11.7 will be the required, and both of them will play in the 100. See, Sebastian, when does the 100 start back up, Sebastian? Do let me know, because I am very keen to do some videos or some live streams on the 100. In fact, I'm going to do a Google. What's on? That's what we go on. And there's a rain delay between India and West Indies, which is quite unfortunate. The 100. The 100. Add teams, leagues, and whatnot. 100. No results. Okay. Right, they don't have the 100. 100, no results. Okay, my app doesn't have it. Early August. Hey, we're almost in early August. I'm going to have a look at the schedule while we are in between innings. Right, the 100-year-old man, no thank you. We're just looking for cricket, thanks. Here we go, 100 cricket schedule. Schedule's a fun word, isn't it? Fixtures, what we got here. Okay, on the 3rd. Yep, so it's very soon. And that's going to be, it's at 6 a.m. Why is it got to be at 6 a.m.? That's actually real close. I don't actually know if they show it in New Zealand, though, is the only problem. So we'll have to see. And what is the 100? It's pretty much 100 balls that they do end up facing for each side. So it's even shorter than T20 cricket. And it will be an all-out slog fest between the sides, and also worse. See at the big V8 show and there as well. Oh, there's one game that will be at 1 a.m. It's not too bad. But that's the thing. The games only go for, I'd say, 2.5 hours, somewhere around there, don't they? Something like that. That is the end of the first innings. England, they were able to get themselves 234. South Africa, they will need a lot. 100 balls per innings, 20 overs of 5 balls each. Says Sebastian there. I'm guessing you have the same problem where people priced out of the big cities are buying in small regional towns. Yeah, we have a lot of people probably moving down from like Auckland. You're probably looking at a good $1 million for a house, depending on how big of a house you need. But the average price for us in this region in Canterbury has gone up 28% since May 2021, and 28%. Yes, it sounds like a big number. But then when you consider that each 100,000, you're putting on an extra 28,000. So if you were getting a $500,000 house, you're now looking at an extra 140 on that 640,000. Makes a big difference. I sound like I'm talking like I've bought many houses, but I just live in my parents' one, don't I? Nonetheless, I might go pop away for a quick drink while we are at it, of water, that is, seeing as it's 7:15. But I will be back in a very short moment, ladies and gentlemen, for the next innings of this one as well. So don't go anywhere, and we will see you all very, very shortly. Right, we are back. Hope you guys are all still doing well, like you were a minute ago. But yeah, at the moment, we just have to wait for the second innings. But we do see there about how well Nitty bowled. He did very well for the side. Definitely him and Rabada. If it wasn't for those two bowling, there could have been a lot more runs on the board. But you'd have to wonder whether or not South Africa are considering the fact that they took out so many of their big dogs for this contest. Maybe that's had a little bit of an effect on them throughout this game. But I should also mention we will actually be doing a video based around the blitz box a little bit later on in the day, which is going to be involving the squad that they have gone with for the sevens, and then also later on after that, a preview for how we think they will end up going the competition as well. That's the thing. Now that I'm up at a very decent hour today, I've got like a full day of productivity in front of me, which will be very handy as the weather's not great outside, so you can't really do too much in there. But I think I'm going to end up probably editing a good 6 or 7 videos throughout the day. I may even end up going to bed very early tonight and maybe waking up for the second test, or not the second test match, the second T20. And also, what's ignore my comments, didn't realize I was several minutes behind on the stream, says the Big VH show. No worries. I mean, I did talk about them a little bit, and like, yeah, it's a big difference between what the prices were like a year ago and what we have now. But yeah, hopefully one day house prices go down, because the place that me and George were looking at, like, or more I was looking at, and I was showing George, like, it was what you'd call the perfect, like, it just looked like a good house to film videos in, if that makes sense. Like, you just look at it and you're like, yep. Like, it's got a nice lounge area. You've got a backyard with a decent amount of space. It's got a garden if we wanted to grow something, but it's $800,000. So, yeah. And also, we have got their prices are dropping slightly because of interest rate hikes. And there says the Big VH show there. But Johnny Bairstow, 90 runs in that first innings. Moeen Ali got 52. Dava Milan, 43. Joss Buttler, 22. And then Jason Roy was out for just the 8, and he actually had the lowest one out of any player. So, question the Big VH show. Which, I guess, how long do you think it will be until house prices go back down to before they were at the 28%? Because they're currently 28% up in our region. So how long, in your marketing opinion, because I have no idea about houses, you see. I live in one. That's all I really know about them. I wouldn't know the slightest thing about anything, but that is actually the second highest total in T20 internationals. They have scored quite a few runs against South Africa in the past. Last time they put on 241 is their highest. It was actually in Napier 2016. Kiwi lads, manner one day, brother, one day. See Sebastian there as well. But yeah, like, if we somehow, like, well, we won't get this house, I don't think, just because it's a bit too high up there. If they didn't sell it, and like they eventually put it down, we might consider maybe trying our absolute best. We'd have to like take out a lot of money, which would cost us a lot of money, which would then be annoying. But one day, like you said, even if it's just a little cabin in the woods, maybe not a cabin in the woods, but just a little like 1 meter by 1 meter box. If it's the Kiwi lads, I feel like that is what matters, you know? That's why I like the little room out there. You kind of don't really have a lot of space to move around, but we've already had some good memories in that little box. We actually opened Weet-Bix cards, but that video didn't go up in the end, but we are still editing it. So maybe in the future makes its way out on the channel. But the England huddle ready to go for this one. Topley, was it Topley or Gleeson that was your boy, Sebastian? I think it was Gleeson, wasn't he? He was your boy from the region. Or it's not called a region, is it? It's called no, it's not a province. What are they called? The Shears. Or is it the region? Maybe. I feel like I'm a bit behind with my English lingo. I just show Moeen Ali's half century. 52 off 18, Glingy. Or Gleeson is a Lank. Topley is a Surrey boy. Says Sebastian there. Counties, that is the word. You know when there's a word that you should be able to think of that just doesn't come out? That was one of them. Speaking of counties, Manukau going to get themselves an opportunity in the Bunnings NBC, not too far away. Hey, says Brandon, welcome in, mate. You are doing well. Hope you are excited for a massive innings we're going to have to see from South Africa. So they will have to chase down the second highest total ever that England have been able to get for themselves in a T20 international. Only higher was their innings up against New Zealand and Napier, but Sam Curran will be opening. It is an interesting haircut, Sebastian. I'll give him that. I believe he dyed it blonde. Maybe wanted to have a similar haircut to his brother, because that looks very similar to what TC has. Maybe he got sick of the bowl cut. Speaking of bowl cuts, Paddy the Baddy Pimlet getting himself a win in the UFC. Somehow I've managed to segue that back to mixed martial arts, but I am very keen on doing some watch-alongs for them. They seem to be earlier in the morning than they used to be over here. Like, we used to have them at about lunchtime, but now they're about 6 a.m. starts. Like, the last card, I actually did watch that one through, Blades versus Aspinall. I got up for the prelims because it was 5:30, and I was like, I would rather be up doing something than lying in bed doing nothing. One thing South Africa cricket knows is how to break records. It's Harley Nelson. Now Sam Curran running in for the first ball of the South African innings. It will be de Kock on strike. He has had it down the ground, and they do get themselves a nice single to get us underway. Only another 234 runs to go. And I'm only joking. I don't mind his looks at all, as long as he does his job well in the field, says Sebastian. He does look a bit like Tom Curran, though, doesn't he? He's changed the haircut, which is interesting. Maybe he is hoping to get signed for the BBL. And if he looks like his brother, they'll be like, oh, it's Tom Curran 2.0. We'll get him. And Amelia said, I welcome in. Early morning start for you, Amelia. Is it because you were doing was it an apprenticeship or was it work experience? One of the two, I believe it was. So is that why you are up very early in South Africa in the Commonwealth? They certainly are. So they will be taking part in the sevens that is coming up just around the corner, which will be very awesome to see. And also the women's cricket, I think they have got a side for themselves. Oh, that card's nice. ESPN Fight Night, Santos versus Hill on Sunday. That will be one that I think we might have to at least watch, maybe even stream for as well. But that one's a nice shot from Hendrick, still yet to get off the mark. And I'm up at 3 or 5:35 a.m. and make videos. It's got very good, and I'm doing Plants vs. Zombies live stream soon, says Brandon. And yes, it's a work day, so hence why I'm up early, says Amelia there as well. Yeah, I've been weird the last few days. Well, weirder than normal, because I've actually been getting up like when it's sunny or like when it's daytime, which has been really strange because now that I think about it, Birmingham, when we do the Commonwealth Games, that's all going to be during nighttime. So we're going to be on reverse hours for that schedule, but then we're going to be switching back to our schedule for the Bunnings NBC. So it's a bit strange, but we're going to try our best to do as much as we can. And I don't think, that's the thing, sleep deprivation, I don't think will hit me until about day 8 of the Commonwealth Games. I think that will be when my eyes look like this. And day 8 of the Commonwealth Games is almost when the rugby championship starts. So I think from there, my eyes will go back to like this, because South Africa play the All Blacks. That's a massive game. Nice in-swinger from Curran, but full. But it is going to be another single. Currently not looking too bad for England. This first over has gone for less than we did see in the South African first bowling over. I believe they went for 13 in it, which actually averaged about what they needed or what they got throughout the whole innings for the bowling as well. I like how I talked about sleep deprivation and now I'm yawning. It's a little bit of subconscious stuff. And on second thought, why is he so small? He looks like he needs to climb a chair to hoover the carpet. He is not the largest man, is he? Sam Curran, but he bowled well in the first over. And Bunnings NBC this weekend or next weekend, says Brandon. So next weekend is the start of the men's Bunnings NBC, but the Farah Palmer Cup, the women's Bunnings NBC, is currently taking place, and that will be this weekend. But with everything that's on, it's going to be very busy, and we can't take any singles. We're going to lose extremely heavily. Sorry, says Harley now. Hello, Mum. Morning. How you going? It's not raining, is it? Still very wet though, isn't it? Well, England got themselves a second highest ever score for their T20 International.
I saw that. I had to look again thinking, is it a 50 over?
Yeah, done pretty well.
So they're going to win or are they going to?
They should win. Should being the key word.
Small ground?
Yeah, very small ground. Topley bowls it to de Kock and he has just slapped it down. That is going to be another dot ball. So he is probably going to be one who needs to be out there for the full innings if England want, or if South Africa want half a chance. And I hope everyone has been well in there as well, says Amelia. I've been good. Overall, I've been weird this week, haven't I, Mum?
Yeah. Awake during the day, it's unusual.
She said it's weird that I'm awake during the day. Didn't quite come through the microphone. The English squad was going to have a day out at the amusement park. That's out. That is the wicket of de Kock, and unfortunately, that is the end of the South African opener. That's massive. Topley takes the wicket. De Kock's disappointed. Yeah, he is. That's the end of de Kock. And also, come on, Mum, to live stream. Join your son, says Brandon. Although she has got work, so she'll have to get ready for that.
Yeah, some of us will.
But poor Sam ain't allowed on the rides. And also de Kock is out. Says Sebastian, that is massive for England. Topley gets a bit of the high five from his teammates. De Kock going to be gone. 4 balls faced, 2 runs. And now South Africa sitting on 3 for 1. Well, that changes things a bit. Because he was my guy who was going to be able to do well. But he's gone now. So could it be Russo, a man who we haven't seen play a T20 international for South Africa since 2016? Has he got a chance of being able to win a monumental one? But it's been a while. His best is 78 against Australia in 2014 in Adelaide. Been quite some time. So we've just seen that man in action. They're saying 6 years off, but now found himself back in the South African side. Topley picking up the wicket. Sam Curran, that's a little chip almost to the man at short cover. Sam Curran and Reece Topley, 2 Surrey boys opening the bowling. There's Sebastian in there as well. So yeah, Surrey doing not too badly in this one. Right, this is going to sound like a very dumb question, Sebastian, so I apologise in advance. But Bristol, is that the county? Because it's Bristol County Cricket Club, I think, or something along those lines. No, actually, no. I take it back. They're in Gloucester, aren't they? Booyah. Hamish got it right, maybe. It's in Gloucester. Or it might not be in Gloucester per se, but this ground's in Gloucester. It's a nice shot for Riley Russo. Has gone to the boundary for 4, 1.4 overs down. That is the first boundary of the day for South Africa, New Zealand versus Scotland, day 1 next weekend. Says Sebastian there. I know that they've got the T20 and also the one-day international coming up. Actually, only play one, and Bristol is independent. Doesn't belong to any county. No one wanted them. Says it was Sebastian and Hamish. Sorry, it was AFK due to driving to work. If you're ever thinking of moving to Melbourne, would suggest looking at a studio. A bit more your type. Get yourself a few flatmates to help with rent. Says Nathan there as well. See, I feel like it would be a very fun journey, wouldn't it? Having something like that set up. Just because, like George said to me the other day, like this is way down the line if it works well for us. But he said his ideal is a farm with a big like area where you can film videos and throw things at walls. Third man coming in, it's another wicket for England. And Riley Russo's gone. Topley gets another. This might be a short-lived innings for the South Africans here. And also now we all know what is going to happen in this game. Embarrassing day for South African cricket, says Hanley now. And yeah, unfortunately, that wicket will not help it out one bit. But the thing is, South Africa, they can't afford to slow down. They need to just keep on going and hope that they get some boundaries, but they haven't been able to time the ball. It's that whole thing of pressure on the board. Definitely when you've got that much pressure of 228 more runs to get, and Topley ripping through the batting order, says Sebastian. But yeah, his ideal was a farm with a house and then also like a big shed where we can just film things. But that's way down the line. And also, what is your best squad video? It was Funny New Zealand Sevens video, says Brandon. Yeah, I did have George round and he was heckling me throughout the whole thing pretty much, which is why at the end you could hear all those outtakes of him in the background as well. But that was a fun video to film. It took a lot longer than it normally would for me to film it, but it was fun. And Abro says, Ollie, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing very well. Apparently Klaassen at the crease a lot earlier than he would have been anticipating. His best is 81. He's going to need that It's actually in 2022 that he got his best. And decent form currently. Riley Rizzo, the last wicket. Or Russo, sorry. Now Sam Curran charging in. Outside of off stump. And it is a miss from the batsman. Klaasen. To put down a catch, unfortunately. In fact, he might have put down 2 in the field. They are just showing Riley Russo getting it wrong. And do you have a win first predictor out of curiosity? Says Sebastian. I do indeed. One moment. We go like this. Cool. Okay. Not ideal for South Africa currently. 2% chance that they do end up going on to win this game. But 2% is better than no percent at this point in time. So I guess you could argue that anything is possible. There we go. Already going up to 13 and over that they will need. Thoughts on the men's sevens team for the Commonwealth Games. I like the fact that they did include Jake Clark just because he is one of those younger guys. And also alongside him, Caleb Tangitau, I think will be all right for the Kiwis. We have actually got a preview coming out for them either today or tomorrow talking about all their fixtures coming up and also key players for them. But I do like the fact that they've gone with the old and the new. They've got quite a few of the older players in there. So you'd have to wonder whether or not that experience of being able to get themselves a Commonwealth gold in the past for the Kiwis. Maybe a lot of that has rubbed off on these guys. Can pass it on to the youngsters as well. That's a 4 runs. Nicely done by Hendricks. And that ball over the boundary for the 4. Okay, they were showing 2 South African supporters in a group of about 50 Englishmen. Which I think you'd have to say that they have got, you'd say, less of the crowd for this game as well, but that is going to be a nice shot once again. Getting through the field, still in the power play, so this is the time to get a few extra runs. Nice run in between the wickets. They do get back for 2. And Hendricks moves up onto 5. Johnny Bairstow not too happy with the way that he's thrown that ball. Wait, no, he must not be on 5. He must be on more than 5. Is he on more than 5? Because he just got a boundary, I think. Me and 4 other flatmates are living in a studio at the moment. Goods for a massive house party. So here's Nathan there. Gee, so that must be a decent size place. That's a good shot down the ground. And it's a 1 bounce 4. And the difference, I think, between this inning so far and England's is any time England went after it, that was going to the boundary for 6 rather than the 4. So the extra 2 runs and Harry Hamish back on the cricket. So here's Celia Ann, sorry. And there, but it's a nice shot down the ground from Hendricks. It's going to be the 1 bounce 4. Moves into double figures now. I think my scoreboard's slightly wrong. And the thing is, this means nothing to me if we lose the test series. I'm using the series as a warm-up for the good stuff. Says Sebastian there. Yeah, and it's going to be epic. 20 days' time. We get to see out another cover drive. Out to deep cover. Moeen Ali in the deep. No, in fact, sorry, it's Johnny Bairstow. 2 men. Batted very well at the crease. Got over 140 runs between them. Nicely fielded by Bairstow. He looks very calm at the moment. I think it was the warm reception he got. Weather was not nice. There's Brandon there. Oh, okay, they are talking about if you have any concerns about someone at the ground, you can actually call a number. I know that many people would have been calling a number for that man who was on the roof pissing at the SCG recently. Not really allowed to do that, are you? Topley back into the bowling attack. Got 2 wickets in his first over. Only going for the 4 runs. Topley charges in. Nice bowling, but that has gone through. Beautiful shot down the ground of the straight drive. That will be to one of the longest boundaries in the ground. Doesn't matter, though, because Hendricks got the timing. Oh, sorry, it was actually Klaasen who got the timing there. No, it was Hendricks. No, it was Klaasen. Klaasen, final answer. We'll go with him. I see my scoreboard has gone to sleep, even though it says it is updating. Currently up to 3.1 overs down. Nicely played once again. And also we look at the South African flags from Edward Gershon there. And I was like, wait, man, pissing SCG, what? Yeah, there was a guy who got onto the roof of the SCG and then started urinating. And his excuse was, I couldn't find the toilet. But you found your way on the roof, didn't you? Surely there was a sign indicating where you were allowed to go to the toilet that was easier than climbing something. And also, Shay Clark went to my school. Says Ollie there. That's pretty awesome. I guess you will be rooting for him in the sevens. And I was like, oh, mate, I couldn't find the toilets on the rooftops, says Nathan. And also, was he English? Has to be, says Nathan there as well. I'm not too sure where he was from, but he's not going back to the ground, that is for sure, because he got himself a lifetime ban. Now, Klaassen on strike. Has to cut that one almost off middle stump. It's well fielded by third man, though, who might have hurt himself a little bit. Looks like Jason Roy just trying to shake out that arm. Yeah, he's not happy with the shoulder there, Jason Roy. I think he might have landed on it awkwardly. And also, I swear I'm not a morning person, says Amelia there. See, that's the thing. I think I've slowly become a little bit more of a morning person over the last week, which I know doesn't sound like it's very impressive because it's just a week. But, like, I think the key is when your alarm goes off, you got to get out of bed. Because I have done very, very many times that I've set an alarm, then I don't get up, and then I just stay in bed. And the man couldn't find the loo. Give him a break, says Sebastian. And I was like, how come you can't show the game? Says Ollie, pretty much due to licensing because of like other companies spending a whole heap of money to be able to show it. And then, so pretty much if we show any match footage or audio, we get taken straight down off YouTube, unfortunately, which we have actually had for not showing match footage as well in the past. But 212 runs needed from 100 balls here for South Africa. Top Lee's been bowling pretty well so far. And they're going for the 10 runs, getting the 2 wickets as well. The scoreboard's actually disappeared on the coverage that I've got. They're going for the quick run. They do get through for the single. I'm a vampire until the sun comes up. And now what? Wasn't an AFL game. It was actually England versus Australia, Sebastian. It was the international that took place at the SCG. The man, he just decided like he needed to go. And the best place to do it was on a roof. As you do. I often think when I'm busting for one that I need to climb up on something and shake the bladder around first before going. And Wallabies versus England, says Nathan. And also do it your pants do, says Gershon in there. But Buttler, he did pretty well for the batting. He did go out a little bit earlier than you would have anticipated, but the strike rate from England's players was brilliant. Lange Gleeson now getting added into the bowl and attack. Rearing a go. Right. Richard Gleeson, sorry. Lange Gleeson's the Waratahs player. Richard Gleeson, I should say. That's an edge! And too much pace. I think Josh Buttler ended up having a bit of a fumble, and Albert Nappy's other solution. Yeah, one of those pipes that go down your leg, and then you just have like it keeps your calf warm. If you're a bit chilly as well. It's like a leg warmer plus a piss sack. It's good for you. That was an edge, I think. Was it an edge, though? Or did it just hit the pad? Buttler didn't quite get his hands to it in time. Yeah, he got an edge. So it would have ended up as a dismissal if Josh Buttler been able to hang on to it. Boy, that's quick from Gleeson. He's steaming in, bowling at 145 at least off the get-go. It seems like the pace is just a little bit too much for Hendricks as we currently sit. He's on 18 off 13 deliveries. The current run rate is 6.46. The required run rate is 13.2. So it is still increasing a little bit more. I don't think they really reacted. Okay, Gleeson, I think, knew that there was a bit of an edge, the way he reacted there. Oh, that's an edge. That's more than an edge. That's gone for 4 runs because he has well and truly got plenty of it. That is the kind of danger of bowling 150, is you do end up with that much pace on the ball that even if they manage to get half a little smidgen on it, it does end up racing away to the boundary as well. And yeah, I think they'll take all the runs that they can get, whether it's off the edge or whether it's out of the middle of the bat. A boundary's a boundary, and that's what South Africa are going to need many of because they are chasing such a large number. And England for themselves getting about 16 sixes, maybe even more than that in their innings. I think it might even be closer to 20. Bowled once again, hit down the ground. No run taken. Fielded by Topley, a man who has taken wickets. He'd like to join Amir Gleeson, and plenty of lengths in the squad as well. Gleeson, Joss and Livingston. Says Sebastian there. I wish they'd show more county cricket over here. Because they show it on YouTube, don't they? Do they show all games on YouTube, Sebastian, or only certain games for clubs? Do let me know. Because I wonder if I need a VPN to be able to watch it, or whether it's just like, no, actually, I don't. I can just watch it. Do they leave the replays up is probably a better question. That's a cutaway. Nice shot, 4 runs. And that will be very nicely done by Hendricks, moving up to now 26 of 16. 89 miles an hour, quick from Gleeson. Right, he's gone for 9 runs with 1 ball left of the over. Like they're saying, Mark Wood and Jofra Archer actually out for a long time, which is why Lang Gleeson's extra pace that they've been able to find recently does help them big time. And that will be the end of the over. 36 for 2 here for England with 1 over left of the power play. Glasson, he hasn't had a lot of strike. And this one, 4 of 5 and plenty of lengths in squad as well with Gleeson, Joss and Livingston. Hendricks currently, he has been more of the aggressor out of the two, 26 off 17. Liam Livingston looks like he's warming up in the background, maybe wants a bit of a bowl. But instead, it will be Chris Jordan. Very handy. He has played for the Perth Scorchers in the past. He has been at the Sydney Thunder also. And I want to say he's also been at another club that I'm trying to remember who he's been to more recently. Who was he with last year? Was he at the Sydney Thunder or was he Perth Scorchers last year? It was one of the two, or in fact, maybe he might have been somewhere else. Average of 27 or so, the best, 4 for 6. Not too bad. He is 33 years of age. He will be there at the World Cup, I would think, for the English. It is coming up in Australia only in a few months' time. Will be very awesome. See it in action, but Chris Jordan now bowls the Yorker. Nicely done. And they do manage to get the single. They do manage to get the single is what I was trying to say before my mouth did a weird shape. And now I'm about to sneeze. It's unfortunate. I'm going to hold it in, though. It's not going to get me. The sneezes are not real. It's all in the mindset, isn't it? Here we go. Just like that. That's not normally that easy. Normally I sneeze. Sorry, mate, my connection is terrible today. Don't even know what comments come through and which not. Says Sebastian there. I do see 2 of the plenty of lengths, but I don't see... Wow. That was shot down the ground. Straight drive, about as straight as an arrow. But yeah, I have seen the lengths ones, but not the county cricket one, if there is one there. And I was like, England should win this with ease. Want to see if ever going to win for the Southern Hemisphere, says Cooper Cronk, sorry. Yeah, currently, as long as South Africa don't allow this required run rate to get above 14, there's still 0.5% chance that they can win it. That's literally straight as an arrow, that shot. From Hendricks, he moves up to 30 off 18, which is exactly what South Africa need. He's gone bang again over the top, and it's another 4 runs for South Africa, looking to attack early. Yeah, definitely with it being the last over of the power play. So I think these are 3 runs for Hendricks. If he goes, though, that could be the end of South Africa. But for now, he is on 34 for 19. And county cricket, can you ask the question again, please? Stream cut out completely, says Sebastian. So I pretty much asked, what did I ask? I said about how all of the games on YouTube or only certain games for county cricket. And also, do they leave the replays up after the matches have taken place to be able to watch again? Or do the live streams go down and then they're like gone? Do let me know. Because I would actually be kind of keen to do a county cricket game. I feel like that would be kind of cool. Get to see some of those guys in action that you used to seeing. Oh, that's a good slow ball from Chris Jordan there. Yeah, bro, everything's all good. And there's our morning Coops. Hope it's all well on your side, mate. See, here's Nathan there. So, Nathan, what time do you have to go to work as well? Is it in 15 minutes or so that you have got yourself your working day? Hopefully, it does fly by for you. I know when I used to work at the supermarket, this was back in high school, Like, it used to be you'd have little things that you looked at. Like, first of all, you'd be like, right, I've got such and such time till my break. If I stock up the milk, then that'll take off 10 minutes. If I do the freezers, that'll be another 20. If I do the beer, that'll be another 10. Then I'm on breaks. Got to do that. Shelf stocking. I used to do way too much. Like, I was working for like 3 people just with myself. That's another boundary. Nice shot from Clarkson there. I believe that's almost his first boundary of the day. Might have almost been a league by, but just a little bit of bat on it to lead to the boundary. Still 1 ball left of the power play. Clarkson. 1 last ball with the... Oh, it's a good ball from Jordan. And also, all county championship games are live on YouTube's on YouTube on the channels of the respective counties, and they stay up after the streams are over as well. That is quite cool that they do actually leave them out. Do they get good views, Sebastian, overall, like their live streams type thing of the game? Surely there is a lot of interest in county cricket, I'd like to think, over there. Or do a lot of people just not watch county cricket and just go international? I'm curious, because it's kind of like, it reminds me of New Zealand's like international rugby, and then you've got the domestic or the New Zealand cricket type thing. Now, some people only watch the Black Caps, whereas some people love watching the Burger King Super Smash and whatnot. Although we don't actually, do we have a 4-day competition over here? I think we might somewhere. Yep, waiting for the boys to roll up at work, says Nathan. Right, the power play is over. England, they did have, I think, a little bit more than 50. And also, can you call this one yet, Amish, says Darren? I think it's just too much for South Africa, unfortunately. Like, I see them getting 200 in this one, but it's just going to be tricky. You know, it's just a little bit too much to be able to get. And Eisen is a great place. There's Brandon there. Wow, that's a good shot, though, from Hendricks. Wow was my favorite word of today. He's hit it over the grandstand and it's gone. And nice, bro. And also on Lanks TV, Lancashire channel, the average viewership is 5K at all times on streams. Oh, okay, so there is actually quite a bit of interest in it for like them. That's quite cool, though, the fact that they do all the games on YouTube. I wish more competitions would do that. Like, I like the under-26 nations because they did show all the games on YouTube. And then, like, some of these other ones, I feel like it would be a good idea, even if it's just one game. Imagine if Sky or All Blacks YouTube channel or someone had the rights to show All Blacks versus South Africa, like the actual gameplay, commentary, and everything. That would do absolutely incredibly. Like, I think if they could show it on the All Blacks YouTube channel, that was an ugly bouncer from Gleeson. Like, they could easily get, I would say, at least 20,000, if not more, watching at once. Like, even if they showed a replay of it the next day or the next week, just some stage they showed it, they would do very well. And I feel like more like companies need to look at that a little bit, because the thing is, after the live stream is done, or no, sorry, not the live stream, after the match is done, like after a week or so, the companies don't get any more revenue from those games, whereas they could earn a little bit of extra revenue if they were allowed to show them again type thing on YouTube. That's a great shot from Clarkson, putting the power in it, hit it straight past Adil Rashid, and that will be another 4 runs. Is it a lively crowd? They certainly are. They love Johnny Bairstow even before he made his way out onto the crowd, or onto the ground, I should say. And all the games are on radio as well, broadcast by the BBC. And you have the YouTube channels for video footage as well. See, that's like pretty cool. And I assume that that competition does relatively well in terms of like financials. Maybe, I'd assume, because there's quite a bit of interest by the sounds of it. One moment, we will go like this. Hit down the ground, straight into Gleeson. The last thing that they want is Gleeson's injury in this match. He's gone for 21 runs so far off 1.4 overs. Being one of the more expensive bowlers today, other than Jordan, of course, who did end up going for the 14 runs off his first over. Ooh, it's an awkward one for him. But I see that Red Bull Salzburg has just scored against Liverpool in the preseason. Are you going to do the rugby league tonight? I was hoping to, but I don't know whether or not I will still be awake, seeing as I did wake up at 5 or so today. So we'll see how we're going. If we are if we're doing all right and I'm not completely out to it in terms of tiredness, we will consider doing that game between the Broncos and Manly Sea Eagles. If we are out to it, though, in terms of tiredness, we will either hopefully be able to do the second test, or the second T20 between England and South Africa would be quite cool to do, or I will be sleeping through and then getting ready for the Commonwealth Games the next day. And county cricket is far from being dead. People listening to the commentary at work, at home, etc. And there's nicely done once again, another boundary for Klaasen. And he seems like over the last few balls, he started to find a little bit more of his momentum. Hendricks sitting on 43 off 23, Klaasen sitting on 18 off 11, and South Africa sitting on 67 for 2 off the 7 overs as well. But yeah, I love watching domestic competitions thrive, because there is an interest in them. But some companies, or not companies per se, but some licensing wise don't see the value in them. And I feel like that's really wrong. I like the fact that for the county cricket in New Zealand, or I think it's the county, isn't it? Or the province districts. What are we called? I can't remember. We got a few of them though. For that cricket side of things, they did actually have it on YouTube, even though it was one angle. Is it the same for the county cricket, Sebastian? How it's just the one angle, almost slightly bird's eye, but quite far away, kind of behind the bowler. And then from there, they just kind of have the pitch, literally one camera set up, and people still watch it. You get some of the commentary, even some of them don't have commentary, but you get to see the action type thing, even if you can't see it on some subscription-based thing. Hendricks, he didn't quite get that one out of the middle of the bat. It did end up going to the leg side. Al Rashid has been brought into the bowling attack, the leg spinner. Trying to rip a couple down and ripping them through him, perhaps. It's got quite dark in England all of a sudden. The lights are well and truly in full effect, but I would say we've probably got another hour or so left of this one. Hamish, do New Zealand get to defend their World Test Championship trophy automatically, or does it go to the top 2 ranked countries at the top of the table? It will be the top of the table team. So because of that, New Zealand may not get themselves another chance at defending it for this year, which will be a little bit rough on them, but they will have to give it back, and someone else will be winning that giant lollipop known as the World Test Championship throne. And generally, one camera view, says Darren Smith. That's the thing. That's normally all you need, isn't it? All you need to see is the pitch and a scorecard, and you're sweet. And also, several cameras, depends on the county as well. Lancashire and Surrey have the 2 best broadcasting qualities pretty much on, all with TV coverage. And when the time comes, says Cooper Cronk, no. So New Zealand, they could be missing out. That's a nice shot once again, hitting into the deep, but it has gone straight to deep mid-wicket in Curran. They do just get the single. Hendricks moving very close to his half century, sitting on 46 off 26. Klaasen, little bit behind, sitting on 20 off 13. Bit of a slower start for him, but the required run rate still 13.4. That's a shot, but I don't think Klaasen's got enough of it. It's taken by Jordan, and that will be the wicket. Or on par with TV coverage, I mean. And there as well, says Sebastian. So, yeah, I feel like I want to watch more county cricket, because I feel like it's similar to New Zealand with the domestic rugby, how I watch so much of the Bunnings NBC. It's just awesome, to see, I guess, the next generation making their way through it. And the Rugby Challenge 5 game got linked on Twitter, says Brandon. Oh, yeah, they said they're making Rugby Challenge 5, even though they couldn't make a good Rugby Challenge 4, weren't they? They said that they were done fixing the old game because they couldn't, and now they want to make another one, which is fair enough. If it's broke, don't fix it. That's what they say, isn't it? Well, not quite, but that's their attitude. Unfortunately, that's the thing. I enjoyed it at the start, but then the more you play it, the more glitches sneak in. Like Rugby 22, I should say, not Rugby 20. Rugby 22, I do actually want to play more of, and we have got a few career modes planned for Rugby Challenge and also Rugby 22 in the near future. It will probably be after the Commonwealth Games, just because I underestimated how many live streams we were going to have throughout that period. Like, we're probably going to be going absolutely flat out for the next 2 weeks or so. And then we've got the Rugby Championship, Bunnings NBC. But after that, we're all good. And South Africa And they're from Gershon, but that is another wicket down, 3 down currently. But you'd have to say that Klaasen was a little bit slower in scoring. Strike rate of 141 for David Miller, the captain of the South Africans. The 25 live stream. There's Brandon there as well. But the last wicket, 20 off 14, like I mentioned, for Klaasen. Didn't quite get onto it the way that he would have liked. And Adil Rashid does get himself his first wicket of the day. Hi, bro, I'm in India, says Deepak there. So welcome in once again, mate. Hope you are doing well. What time is it in India currently, Deepak? It must be, is it about maybe 3 a.m. or somewhere around there? Do let me know. Sam Curran now charging in at the lead side, keeping that strike rotating, which is something that's very important for South Africa, although they will need a few boundaries each over as well. Keep that required run rate under 15. As soon as it goes over 15, you're in trouble. But they've actually, scoring not too badly. Almost 10 runs and over. It's in just below 9. Sam Curran, he is back in the bowling attack. Okay, they're asking the question of whether or not Moeen Ali gets an over. Just to see how he's going. Hello, bro, I'm from India. Please tell my name. So that is Deepak. And there's also a shout out to you, mate. Now going into deep point region. They want the 2. Oh, it was close, but I believe the dive was good enough to get him safe. Nice work from Hendricks for the quick run. 48 runs now he is sitting on. Oh, they're going upstairs. So they might be checking to see whether or not he was short. And I was over there, please tell my name, says Deepak once again. Nah, he's safe as houses there. He's safe. His gloves were in, his bat was in, his helmet was almost in, and Miller, yes. And there as well, says Gershon. So yeah, Miller, he's going to have to come out there and have an absolute, well, that's the thing. Give him 5 balls, I would say, to go slow, and then he's got to go. Well, and truly, and hey, Patel, says give a grog, and also they're not out. Says Gershon there. Now Sam Curran about to line up this 3rd delivery of the day. 3rd delivery of the over, I should mention. Hendricks on 48. Hit to the leg side. Nice shot. And it's found the gap. That's the 50. Brilliantly batted by Hendricks. He did almost get himself dismissed at the first ball of Gleeson's over, but he's been able to stick around. And also we have got there. Joe got timeout. There's Brandon there as well. That is 50. 8th 50 in 44 international T20 matches for Reza Hendricks. He's come out of the middle of the bat. He was looking a little bit towards the sky, but he didn't decide to fully commit to the full shot or the big shot. So he did just get the 4 runs, 1 bounce 4. Another short ball. He leaves that one alone. That's a nice change up from Sam Curran. Something that you didn't really expect to see from him after getting hit for the 4. Hendricks sitting on 52 off 29 deliveries. They needed this. Yes, boys, says Gershon there. Right. Hendricks and Miller. This partnership is the big one that South Africa need. If these two both get themselves, if Hendricks gets to 100 and Miller gets to 50, you'd have to say the momentum of this game might turn around. I'm doing Sevens live stream this weekend. There's Brandon. I should also mention Commonwealth Games coming up just around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. We will be doing the rugby sevens. We will be doing hopefully some of the women's cricket that has taken place. I don't know whether or not that will be on the main channel or the sport channel at this stage, just because I don't know how the copyright side of things will go for that one. But then also a few other sports we do want to cover on the channel, maybe some hockey, maybe some, what else is there? It's taking place, maybe some boxing. I've been watching a little bit of that. Did watch a few Kiwis at the Olympics as well. I'd like to follow a few sports that Kiwis are taking part in. That ball was in the air. Adil Rashid has misfielded, and that will be racing away for 4 runs. Hendricks moves up to 56 now. And a disappointed man there for Sam Curran. That will be the end of the over. 9 overs down, 83 for 3. So I guess the question now, how many runs do we think South Africa will have after their 20 overs? I predicted 200, which I think I'm still going to be sticking with. It's whether or not they can push to an all-time record, though, of a run chase. 234 would not be easy. South Africa, they won't be giving up too quickly either. Got a match less than 24 hours from now. I believe it's about 21 hours. And can you link my YouTube channel because I am doing every game on tomorrow, says Brandon. So we will probably be doing the same, Brandon. So I guess in a way you are our competition for tomorrow. But yeah, hopefully it all goes well for yourself. And yeah, there's some good matches that are coming up. I'm looking forward to seeing a couple of those smaller sides that we don't get to see too much of. Likes of Uganda versus Jamaica, I think, was one of those. No, Uganda versus, who were they playing? Uganda had someone. No. Is it Uganda? Might be. Who do Uganda play? Uganda play Kenya. That is a match I'm looking forward to, and it's must win South Africa. 100% says Gurushan. And there's also, he's confident that the Proteas are going to be able to make their way through. I'm looking to New Zealand versus Springbok Sevens. There's Brandon there, and there's a good chance that could end up being one of the finals and the Commonwealth Games as well. With the way that the table is set, I hope to see Fiji, Samoa, South Africa. That's the thing, though. If Samoa make it, that means England have missed out. But I love watching Samoa play. So it's very tricky. I like watching England play too. They've got some young guns in their side. But, I don't know, Samoa might be able to sneak it. Sorry, Seb. Oh, hang on. Is Romania in that lower teams thing that has taken place, Sebastian? I'm going to have another quick look and see what I can find. Because it's going to be another single from Moeen Ali's bowling. Because if they are, that would be kind of cool. So qualified in the Rugby Sevens World Cup. It doesn't seem like they're there. But, oh, and they're not actually... Do Romania have a sevens side, Sebastian? Because they're not in that World Rugby Sevens Challengers series, which I was kind of hoping they would be. That's a big shot. It's a big shot, but it hasn't gone all the way. Sam Curran takes it, and Hendricks is gone, and you'd have to say that some of the hopes for South Africa may be gone as well, with Hendricks dismissed. 57 off 33. Moeen Ali gets the wicket. And Samoa Sevens versus Argentina in the final. Here's Brandon there, but Moeen Ali gives it an almighty rip. And it's just gone up into the night sky in Gloucester and taken by Sam Curran. It's a bit of a shame. I thought that he was going to be in it for the long haul. And now it is up to Miller and a couple other men. The Commonwealth Games is good practice for netball and sevens. Rugby, the World Cups and Olympics are what really matters in a couple of months. Says Kipper Cronk, being a Lily Sevens do not make. And there says Brandon. But yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome to see how the World Cups go for the Rugby Sevens. And so you say Netball World Cup is coming up relatively soon as well. I pitched the idea to Mum doing a little bit of the netball, but I don't know whether or not that will be happening. But maybe she could do some bowls with me. You know, we'll just do a random sports. We'll have a random sport a day that we do like 30 minutes of some random sport that we wouldn't normally commentate on. That would be kind of a cool concept for the sport channel, or like an hour where we sit down and just watch all the different channels and just keep you guys informed about multiple events that are taking place and make more views than me, Amish. There's Brandon there. Chat as well. But almost 10 overs down currently in this contest for South Africa. They require 14.4, and as they have more dot balls and wickets, that will certainly increase more. But if they get a couple big boundaries in over, they will be able to keep it close a little bit later on. And this one, I feel like 200 might have been optimistic from myself. Maybe about 180 might be more realistic, but I'm going to stick with 200. I think they do all right here. So we'll have to wait and see whether or not they can continue. Okay, they were actually taking a pre-drinks break. They decided that since it is very close to the 10 overs, they might as well take the drinks now and continue through. And also, I'm going to be versing you tomorrow. So here's Brandon there as well. It'll be like the good old Plants vs. Zombies days, won't it? But now, South Africa up to their sixth batsman in the lineup, and I wouldn't think you'll get a lot of time to get set. He's just got to go out there and keep swinging. But it will be David Miller on strike, the captain of South Africa. And yes, it could be a sinking ship, but South Africa, their skipper, he will be sticking around, trying his absolute best to try and get them over the line. So to the leg side, taking a single, and that will be the end of the over. Wicket taken for Moeen Ali. In fact, no, sorry, there's still one more ball. Tristan Stubbs, the age of 21, so younger than me, and also South African flags. And he says, can you play Plants vs. Zombies again? I don't actually have it downloaded at this stage because I did have to clear some space because George wants to play some more Red Dead Redemption. So I did have to clear about 100 gigabytes. Oh, he's actually played at that one. There's a mistake there in the fielding, though. Could have been a dot ball every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. So there's Brandon there. Stubbs has got himself his first run of the day, and that is going to be 10 overs down. Oh, no, he looked disappointed, but at the end of the day, he did only go for about 4 or 5 runs. Also got that wicket. But still to come, they have got Fulak Wayo, also Rabada Maharaj, Nyeri, and Shamsi as the last batsman. So you'd have to say below, oh, that's the thing, Maharaj can still swing a bat, but I'd say below Rabada, it's about as deep as they want to go South Africa here in their lineup. Right, back into the attack. It will be Reece Topley. Currently, he is sitting 2 overs bowled. Pretty handy with the 2 wickets alongside it. It's a bit lofty, but it has gone out point way. Down a deep point to Bairstow, who gets a round of applause from the crowd as soon as he takes it as well. He is definitely a fan favourite at this ground. And also, I wish AM win to make events on Discord. Hamish, Brandon versus Hamish. Says Brandon there. Like I saying, it must be Bristol. The fact that Johnny is in Bristol just seems to be just a little bit of an extra applaudance by the man. Is that applaudance a word? It sounds like a word. Topley now hits it to the leg side. And Adil Rashid looked to cut it off, but instead Sam Curran been able to get that one, and it allows the second run with the fumble. South Africa moving closer to the 100 at the moment, sitting on 91, not too far off, only another 9 to go. Is Johnny drinking a Red Bull? I don't think he is. I think it was just some sort of energy drink in a can, or maybe like some drink in a can. And also we have got there guys are letting themselves down. Poor batting and bowling performance, says Johnny Douglas. You know, it's a very big call, leaving about 5 guys out who will be in the starting 11 for the Cricket World Cup. The likes of Markram missing from this game. It's going to be interesting to see how the second one goes because they play in less than 24 hours. So I don't know how many of these guys who are playing in this game will be playing in the next one. It's actually a really condensed or compressed tour with the fact that these guys play at 3 T20s in 4 days. And I was like, do you like or no? Says Brandon. Oh, they want the single? Okay, leg by. There, and Miller does get a leg by. Oh, they give Miller the run there. I think they gave him the run on the scoreboard, but it's another big yawn. I think it's because it's 8 a.m. here in New Zealand, so the yawns are starting to kick in for the long day ahead. We're probably up for another 15 hours or so, somewhere around there, preparing for the Commonwealth Games. We've got plenty of videos based around the sevens coming up. I'm actually filming couple rugby videos in about an hour's time with Rugby Itch. So we are going to be doing those ones as well. And yeah, so big day planned, but will be very fun. I enjoy the process. Might even find my way onto a treadmill at some stage. Nice shot. Once again, finding a bit of a gap in the field for England. There's a bit of slipperiness going on out there by the looks of it because there has been quite a few fumbles from England. And also we saw a lot of drop balls from the Proteas. I think the yawns have kicked in just now, and I think Hamish will going to win a night game. But I forgot Bunnings NBC 7's on. See, here's Brandon there. Yeah, Bunnings NBC. I'm looking forward to seeing that competition. They've mixed it up this year. The Championship and the Premiership no longer exist. It's Group A, Group B. Whoever wins them will go through to a final just to play off for the One Cup, I believe it is. Miller on strike. He's had a big swing, but no connection there outside of off stump, and that will be the end of the over. 11 down for the over count, and it is 93 for 4. So currently, they almost need 16 runs in over here for South Africa. It is continuing to build and build and build. Big swing from Miller. Didn't quite get onto it, but I should mention anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you'd enjoy South Africa, if you'd enjoy England, we are going to be covering both of their fixtures for the Commonwealth Games 7s. That's coming just around the corner. And also, we have got a video coming up a little bit later on today, I believe, that is going to be South Africa's 7 squad that they have gone with for as our Sky Sport 2. So here's Brandon. And there's, I should also mention, if you are in New Zealand and you want to watch this game, it is on it is on Spark Sport to be able to watch it. I'm also quickly going to check to see if it's on the TAB. See if that is an option for watching. Because I know that some of the international games they have had on the TAB in the past, but other games they don't seem to have them. Okay, unfortunately, you cannot watch the game on the TAB. You can watch the football that's taken place in Bolivia and the tennis that has taken place, but you cannot watch the cricket, sadly. Like they're saying, England, they'll be pretty happy with just having singles scored off them. No real issue there. Bit of an issue there, though, because that's going to be going for more than a single. That's for 6. Nice shot down the ground from Stubbs. He might have broken the bottom of his bat, but he won't mind too much because he has just absolutely smacked it down the ground. And weather update, rain, rain, rain. So there's Brandon there. Yeah, there is plenty of rain around. We have had flooding where I live very recently as well. It's been quite damp. That's a good shot. Straight down the middle. Almost hit a shot. I always worry when the ball goes flying into the crowd and the adults go like that and then they go, actually, nah, might not get there. And then it goes straight through. Could clean up someone's kneecap or a child. Shot. That's big. That's nice. And Stubbs has got another 6. They need this for South Africa. With 2 6s being scored, they still need 15 runs per over. They are flooding on Monday, says Brandon as well. It might have hit a man on the head, unfortunately. I think you need to keep your eyes on the game. Does it hit him on the head? Yep. Hits him on the head. That would have hurt the top of it. Also, my dad have to come on Monday. There's Brandon there as well, but it's a nice shot once again for the youngster Stubbs. Like I mentioned, 21 years of age, and it seems like he's playing with no fear, which is exactly what you need from a youngster. He's done a nice cut out to deep cover, and he just gets a single. Smart bowling from Moeen Ali didn't give him the length that time to be able to get after it. Needing still 127 from 50 balls to be able to go on and get themselves the victory. Miller sitting on 6 off 8. Stubbs sitting on 18 off 7. Moeen Ali got the wicket earlier on. Can he get another one? Nicely bowled. Just taking the single there. Miller wasn't quite able to get underneath it enough. It was a straight delivery from Moeen Ali. Currently required run rate 15.4. It's quite high. It's probably about as high as South Africa will ever want to chase in a match. Good night, Amish. I hope we win tomorrow, or you win tomorrow. So here's Brandon. So we'll see you later on, mate. Yeah, I hope you do enjoy your sleep by the sounds of it if you are going to sleep. Moeen Ali. 1 ball left of his second over. Wants to try and create a little bit of magic for the English side. Get South Africa 5 down. Yeah, that ain't happening. That's another 6. Nice, beautiful cover drive. Lofted over the top. And that will be 6 more runs for Stubbs. He is currently sitting on 24 off 8. He's trying to beat the record that we just saw set by Moeen Ali for the fastest 50. This is ridiculous. Atrocious internet. Says Sebastian there as well. Come on, boys. This is easy, says get a shot. And at the moment, it's brilliant work from Stubbs with how hard he is hitting that ball. Another 6. So yeah, hopefully it does end up sorting itself out for you, Sebastian. Now, this might be a silly question. Is Romania in the Commonwealth Games? Maybe. Don't know. Mum's nodding.
But they're definitely in the Olympics, but I don't know.
Don't know. It's a very good question. After 12 overs, South Africa are actually ahead in terms of runs, but then the thing is they need a Moeen Ali and they need a Johnny Bairstow innings from 2 of their teammates to be able to go on and get themselves a possible win. They will require 15 runs per over for the last 8 of this matchup. So I don't think Stubbs will stop swinging by the looks of it. And like they're showing 6s, 26s for England, whereas the 4s from South Africa, we've already seen 13 compared to the 9 of England and only 4 6s. And there'll be a laugh and no, we were never part of the British Empire in there, says Sebastian. Okay. So that will mean, so does that mean you're England for the Commonwealth Games in terms of teams that you'll be supporting? That's a nice ball from Chris Jordan. It's going down leg, though. They do get through for the leg by all man, almost hit with the ball. He tries to get the overthrow, doesn't get it. Miller now moves up to 7 off 9. Chris Jordan, he's gone for 14 off his first over. That will be another run, but it is a leg by this time. 120 required. They're going upstairs for this one? No. Okay, they weren't too sure. They were having a bit of a check. Leg side, I would think. Unless they have added a couple more stumps on the leg side, that is not hitting any of them. It was still only single, which is massive for them in this one, because straight away, as you can see, it pops up the required run rate by 0.2 runs. And guys, I mean, given that I spent at least 3 months a year in England, they are my boys, says Sebastian there. Nicely done. So I guess in the group A for the 7s, New Zealand, Samoa, England, Sri Lanka. How do you see them getting on? Hometown advantage, oh, not hometown, home field advantage. That was what got me in trouble yesterday on my New Zealand video. I couldn't say that sentence. Kept messing it up. But yeah, home field advantage for the English. I think it's going to be New Zealand making it through, and then Samoa or England have that other spot. But it's that question of who's going to get that momentum when they do face each other. Another single. Once again, this will not be minding England one bit at all. Just getting this. The aggression between these two sides. 118 needed off 45 balls, required run rate up to 15.7 now. I think they need a 6 and they need one soon. Miller on strike. Man who is yet to hit a boundary, I believe. Just trying to get himself set. He's hit that one hard. It's a nice shot out to backward point. Taken by Livingston, and just another single. And England 7s are going to fail. That's pretty much a given, Sebastian. And there as well. So I guess which other sports England are in should I be watching out for? Are they any good at hockey? Out of curiosity. Because I think they're in the hockey for the men and the women. Maybe. But yeah, I haven't actually watched too much hockey in the past, but it's one of those ones that I feel like it's the closest to what we cover on the channel, if that makes sense. That kind of makes sense to try out. Wow. It's another nice shot from Stubbs. They're saying that it didn't sound too good, but it's still gone about 90 meters. And Stubbs has been able to hit himself yet again. Another 6, moves up to 31 off 11. Continues to keep on going bang. Has he hit a 4 yet, or is he just hitting them all the way every time? Like they're saying the boundaries are small here. I only know ice hockey. Don't know anything about field hockey. Says Sebastian there as well. Oh, are the Winter Olympics next year or the year after or the year after that, Sebastian? I think the Winter Olympics, were they this year? No. When were the... I remember Nico Proteas. They were doing a lot of pieces on him. So it was either earlier this year or last year, I think. Or the year before. There's that much sport on at the moment. My brain is just a fumbling mess, isn't it? Or fuzzly mess, I think I was going to say. 2022 were the Winter Olympics. See Sebastian there, nice strike of the ball. Once again, and it will go out to Johnny Bairstow. They consider the 2. They weren't able to get it, though. Johnny Bairstow once again gets the round of applause from the crowd as he fields that one. 110 needed off 42 balls, required run rate. Once again, will be creeping up to 15.6. And did you hear the Black Caps game? Says Ollie in there. So we didn't actually do the Black Caps game versus Scotland. I did, before the game, assume that it was going to be relatively one-sided, and that seems to be what it was. So I decided instead to get up at 5 and to do this matchup between England and South Africa. I know it was going to be an awesome one to see. I have not been disappointed. We saw 234 runs in that first innings. Throughout these two sides, we have already had 359 runs with 10 wickets between them. It's been all action. Adil Rashid back in the bowling attack. 5 runs of his first over. Did get the wicket though. Right, Stubbs on strike. This is a bold call because we have seen Stubbs chase after the spinners a little bit. So maybe changing the angle up a bit more. Going for Rashid rather than Ali. They got long on, long off. He does hit it straight down the ground. He tried to get the single. Didn't quite work out. David Miller just on the ground there. As a dot ball. So the side almost ends up colliding with Miller. But both men somehow able to dodge each other. And Van Allen's 100. And that was, it was very impressive. That's a great shot from Stubbs. And that will be another boundary. 36 runs off 14 he moves up to now. And Proteas, 100% yes, says Gershon there. And if Stubbs is at the crease at the end of this game, they've certainly got a good crack of being able to get 200 plus, that is for sure. He just keeps on hitting. See, I'm wondering, because Rashid, I don't think it was the best choice to bring him in. That's another 6. You cannot put it in the slot because he wasn't hitting as many 6s off pace. That one's gone over the top of the stands and into the crowd, or over the crowd into the car park. And now they need 100 off 39 balls, down to 15.4 as the required run rate. South Africa are not out of this game yet. They are still fighting. Still seeing what they can do now. I hope that Miller isn't saying to the youngster, pick your ball to go after, because if he is, then this run rate could increase even more. And also, what a brilliant shot. 6 from Stubbs here. That one was a 100-meter 6. Has absolutely taken it all the way out of the ground. And I think they're going to need a new ball. Josh Buttler goes, oh, that didn't quite work. And I think he is questioning the choice of going with Adil Rashid now. Because at the end of the day, if Ali was going for a lot of runs, given that little bit of extra height for Stubbs, this one wouldn't be too much different, I wouldn't have thought, for Adil Rashid. But maybe he can sneak the wicket. That might be the big difference maker. If he can get the wicket, he's a crafty veteran. Now it's worked down the ground. Yeah, is the call from Stubbs, and he does just take the single. All right, what does Miller do? He's on 8 off 11. Hasn't quite started firing yet. We know that Jason Roy was the lowest strike rate for the English side. Adil Rashid, a little bit of a field change by the looks of it. And also, no, says Alter. So I would assume maybe, if I'm not wrong, that would mean that Miller's gone. Possibly. Now Miller facing off with Adil Rashid. Once again. Yeah, he's at it down the ground, and it is taken. The thing is, though, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, which sounds weird to say, but Miller has not been getting them clean in this game, and he has been taking up balls that definitely need to find their way to the boundary. So, yes, it's a big shot, or it's a big wicket because it's a skipper, but I think that South Africa from here may end up finding themselves a little bit of extra speed in the way that they are scoring, and that's hard to do with the fact that Stubbs is sitting on 43 off 16 balls. Adil Rashid gets the wicket of David Miller. He just went after the wrong ball there. I think he was getting frustrated with not being able to score many runs. And now, that will be the end of Miller. 8 off 12, and the South Africans sitting 136 for 5. It looks like now into the middle order. And Danger Man has gone, game's done, says Sebastian. Although, I don't know, I think Stubbs is looking more like a Danger Man at this stage than Miller. Miller was not getting anything out of the middle of the bat. He was playing with the toothpick, and everything just kept on hitting the sides. But now, they have got another man at the crease whose name I'm terrible at pronouncing. So if I had to pick anyone to go out next, I would prefer him to get out, just because then it will be nice, easy names to say. And also, no, Stubbs, brilliant player, better than Miller. And there's our says Alta. So that is who is next at the crease. Felukwayo. His best is 27. And his average is 9. So there's a chance that we might only see him for a very short amount of time. They are just checking to see whether or not the batsmen have crossed. And I think they have, by the looks of it. So now Adil Rashid, one last ball of this over. Right. Where does he put this one? This one's got to be on the stumps, doesn't it? Oh, it's off the outside edge, and I believe they will take the single. And that will mean that he gets off the mark. That is one single off the end of the over of Adil Rashid. He's got 2 wickets, and that is now going to be 137 for 5. So that required run rate, I'm looking at it being 16.3, another quiet over, and I'd say that this game is almost done and dusted. And if Stubbs loses his wicket, probably even more chance that this game is going to be done and dusted in that short fashion as well. But Rabada Maharaj still to come, also Nyanyiri and Shamsi. So a few men can swing a bat hard, but none quite as, I guess, getting the timing as perfect as Stubbs has been for his 43 off 16, which sounds very quick. And then you realise that Moeen Ali was able to get the 50 off 16 for one of the fastest T20 international half centuries. I think it was actually the fastest. And also, I don't think South Africa are going to win this game. Says Alta, yeah, at the moment, it seems like England have certainly got the momentum. The big question is, how do they fire back in that second T20 with it only being less than 24 hours away? Are we going to get to see a new English lineup? Or are we going to see maybe a similar one and then see if they can get themselves 2-0 up in short succession? Gleeson is the man to keep the run rate at bay. Nice one once again from Topley. Geez, that's actually raced away, and that's going to be 4 runs. It's a brilliantly timed shot. I thought it was just going to be tapped out to the man at mid-on, or mid-off, sorry. It just kept going. And they won't have boundaries off his bowling. Says Sebastian, yeah, the only boundaries you normally get off Gleeson is an edge, if you're lucky. Because other than the edge, it's normally just too hard to try and get that one away. Definitely if he finds his length. I wonder which over they go back to him, whether or not they give him one of the last overs, or whether you give him the next, or whether Rashid gets another perhaps, which I think might be the way that they go. Short ball trying to pull it away, hasn't got the timing. Out to square leg, and it is just a single. Stubbs back on strike. Now, we've seen how much he favours the spin. Can he hit the pace bowlers just this hard? Topley hasn't really been hit around the ground too much. He's got 4 balls left of his spell. Currently 21 for 2. Been impressive with the line of length, and also only accidental boundaries due to his pace, says Sebastian. Yeah. Other than that, though, I think, yeah, I'm in agreement. If he can find a good length, he might be able to clean up at least a couple of the Proteas. Okay, they've got themselves a hotel with about 50 friends, and they've got Freddie Flintoff and Ariana Grande cutouts that they've put in their hotel room. Stubbs needs to go for that 6s, or for the 6s, that's all that will help South Africa, says Alta. He's going to have to keep swinging, that is for sure. If he misses the ball and gets out, then I would say that it is over for them, and they may end up coming at least 50 runs short. But if he can stay out there, get himself to about 70 or 80 in the next 3 or 4 overs, that would certainly help them out. He swings. He's hit it hard. Has he got enough of it? Yes, just. And it's gone over the top of Liam Livingstone, who's landed hard on his back. He did put himself on the line trying to stop that one, but it is another 6 for Stubbs. He moves up to 49. This has been a brilliant innings from the youngster. Like I mentioned, 21 years of age. And he has just sat back and gone for it there. Just over the top of Liam Livingstone. Quiet run rate, as you see, it drops straight back down to 15.8. These 6s are crucial for South Africa. And Livingstone, he tried to slap it back in. It doesn't quite work out. And now, once again, it will be Stubbs on strike. Can the youngster bring up the half century? And Jesus, mate, you're all right. Yeah, he landed hard, didn't he? He threw it all on the line, Liam Livingstone. Oh, he's tried to hit it. That's a brilliant Yorker from Topley. And did end up getting it outside of off stump. Wasn't able to get on it, and that will get on the youngster's head, sitting on 49. He'll be just waiting to be able to bring up that half century. Now, Topley once again charges in. Stubbs, as soon as he ticks over the half century, I think he'll try and work his way towards the century, and that one is going to be the half century for Stubbs. Brilliantly batted. They do just take the single, and that will be 50 off 19, so a very impressive innings for Stubbs. He's trying to turn the game around for a side that is his maiden 50. He's only played in 3 T20 internationals. Perhaps he has got himself a spot heading into the World Cup as well, but he had 6 sixes, 1 4, so he had one that didn't quite go all the way. Other than that, everything has been over the boundary rope. Plenty of power for that youngster. 30 on his back, 30 runs, well, in fact, 36 runs from sixes. Now, Topley, one final ball of this over. It's going to be the single taken. So once again, ending the over with a single, and that will make it 150 runs for 5. Okay, waiting for another 6 now, says Alto, although it will be the strike for Philuk Wayo. He will have himself the strike for this next over. I wonder whether or not Adil Rashid gets it now that there was a couple more big shots. Whether now's your time to bring in Gleeson. Or maybe Curran. Curran might get another run relatively soon. Maybe. Okay, I think they're checking on the man who got hit in the head with the ball. Just making sure he is all right. And it seems like he is. Maybe. Hopefully he's not concussed. 150 runs. Oh, okay. Gleeson's back. After 15 overs, South Africa are still 2 ahead. They were the same a little bit earlier on, but they were 2 runs ahead, but they have lost an extra 2 wickets, and Gleeson should bowl over 17 and 19 like he does for Lanks in there. Which over are we in now? He is bowling the 16th. They've decided to give him a little bit earlier on. Maybe they're looking for Curran as the closer, or maybe actually Chris Jordan might get to close out the innings perhaps. But Topley has finished his bowling. So England will have to be a little bit strategic with who they go with. They've got Jordan, they've got Curran, Ali, Rashid. Gleeson still got 2 left. He's gone for 26 so far, but I think a wicket could be just around the corner for him. Oh, that's going to be 4 runs. It's gone to the leg side. I think it was leg buys. No, he actually got a little bit of bet on it. So that will be 4 against Gleeson. He's a bit disappointed there with that one. Bit of a loosener as the first delivery. They will certainly need more than just the 1-4, though. As you can see, that required run rate, just with a couple singles, goes back up to 16.8. 89 miles per hour. I'm not too sure of what the conversion is between 89 miles. I think it's about 150. Why? Full toss. Hit down the ground. He's got it over the top, and there's going to be another 1 bounce 4. 2 bounce 4 for Look Wayo. And he looks like he has been going not too badly. His 3rd boundary since coming out there, and he has only faced 6 balls in the process. Yeah, 89 miles an hour, so plenty of speed on. All you need to do is get some bat on it. That was a big swing of the bat as well. Brave from the middle order batsman. Right. Where does Gleeson go now? I think this angle favours Fulukwayo a little bit. That's better. Oh, Middlestar can't believe this. Come on, Rich. See Sebastian, just the single there. He's stretching out something in his side. So I hope he's not injured, Langy. Sorry, not Langy. Sorry for keeping on calling him Langy. It's just the name that rolls off the tongue because Langy Gleeson plays for the Waratahs. So that's why Langy Gleeson keeps coming off the tongue. But yeah, hopefully he's not injured, but he was stretching out his side a little bit after that first delivery. So that will be something to keep an eye on, whether or not he does get to bowl another over. I would think possibly not if he's got some sort of injury lurking. But his speeds at the moment, he has been quicker than anyone in this game by an extra 6 miles per hour, which is pretty hefty. Now it's going to be whipped away. That is speed. That is 4 more runs. Brilliantly timed by the youngster Stubbs. He gets it on the full. He just managed to get it away. to the boundary. And at the moment, South Africa have not given up on this one. Even though they're getting boundaries, it is still 16.6 required. And mate, you cover everything, says Distracted Sports. Yep, we are on the cricket grind as well. And with the Commonwealth Games coming up, there's going to be a whole heap of random stuff coming in the near future. But I hope you are going well today, mate. Sorry for not replying to your Instagram message as well. I did just remember that I have still got it on scene. But yeah, hopefully we can get something going at some stage relatively soon as well. Gleeson now. Short ball hit hard by Stubbs. He hasn't got the distance on that one. It's going to be a chance. No, it does fall safe. And it's a misfield from two fielders. Almost goes to the boundary, but they will be able to get the 2 runs for Stubbs there. And now South Africa, they look like they are closing in a little bit closer to being able to get themselves that 200 runs. Stubbs is the key for them. He's sitting on 56 of 21 deliveries. First it was the misfield from Curran. Then it was the misfield from Jordan. That ball looked very slippery for those two. Like they're saying, Stubbs, fantastic innings from the youngster. 21, same as his age. That's how many balls he has faced. 17 needed of 25 balls to win as well. This is the key partnership. They've still got Roberto who can hit a long ball. And all good. You made a very brief appearance in my recent vid. Did I get a little pop-up? I didn't even realize. I have to give it a look. I did see that you uploaded yesterday, didn't you? About the Northern Hemisphere teams. That's gone up in the air. And that's a brilliant shot from Stubbs. 6 more. He goes bang. He's fired up as well. He almost broke his hand, I would think, giving himself a fist bump with his teammate. And now 64 of 24 needed. Still required run rate of 16. Geez, that's a few. And you think about the run rate that they're going at. And the fact that it still keeps on sticking around that 16 just shows you how strong of an innings England had, because they have actually been ahead of the required run rate, or the comparison of how many England were on. South Africa have been ahead of it pretty much throughout this whole game, but they just haven't quite been able to get enough. Stubbs gives the big fist bump to his teammate at the crease. After 16 overs, England were 168 for 3. So once again, South Africa ahead by 3 runs. That just shows how well England finished, like I mentioned. Johnny Bairstow was going berserk. Moeen Ali was another one that certainly helped England get a large total. Sam Curran back in the bowling attack by the looks of it. He wasn't too bad in the earlier stages. Very expensive. He never goes for more than 10 runs, says Sebastian. I think it was just a case of, unfortunately, once again, we jinxed someone. Sebastian, we have a good tendency of doing that. Next game, he'll go better if he gets selected, that is. But yeah, it seems to just be, unfortunately, the commentator's curse did kick in for him again. Like, his first over, I thought, went all right. It was just unfortunate that those edges came in that did end up leading to a few extra runs on the board. Sorry, 64 from 24 balls. And I love this guy, says NZ Guy, and Fit Pump in there as well, says NZ Guy. Right, Sam Curran, 3 overs bowled, 26 runs he's gone for. An over that he only goes for about 8 or 10 here would be huge for England. Brilliant Yorker, on the money. That is better than a wicket in some regards, because that, watch the run rate, wait for it, required run rate, 1 dot ball. 16 was the required. It's going to take ages to update now, of course. There you go, 16.7, an extra 0.7 runs needed and over because of that brilliant Yorker. If he gets another one, if you edge Gleeson's delivery, goes to the car park off an edge, says Sebastian. Yeah, that's the thing. With that much pace, very hard to stop it from going to the wickets. Or sorry, stop it from going to the boundary. Sam Curran, once again, it's hit down the ground. It looks like they will be just taking the single. Wait for it. It's going to do it. It's going to go up to over 17, 17.2. Need a big and dual ball, says NZ Guy. And yeah, they certainly need a couple big shots from Stubbs. He loves it in his swing and arch. He's already got himself about 8 sixes in this game, which is absolutely incredible for a guy who's only in his 3rd T20 international game. Hey, Billy. Way up to it, bud. Come on. Up you come. Come on. There you go. He's decided he's sick of jumping, so instead he just kind of claws his way up like he's some sort of rock climber and swagging it in. Says the NZ guy. Hello, Billy. Shot. That's 6 runs. That is brilliant. And that is going to be another one. And the cat. And there's our says the NZ guy. Yeah, he has decided. I mean, out of all the times to come tune in, Billy, you've probably got the best time out of all of them. Hello, William. Says Sebastian there. That's a great shot once again from the youngster Stubbs, isn't it? You see that one? No, you went look at where he's doing the spin. He's facing not really towards the cricket, but he's not a mile off just in case anything exciting happens. I have to try and like have my arms in a weird position now that he is on my lap. I'll just dangle them down. And last time I heard a guy say, wait for it, and held up his finger. It made me very nervous. Says Distracted Sports. Stubbs on 68. 1 away from the magic number, but I think he's going in more than just ones at the moment. He has been 6ing it up big time. Oh, it's wide, and he has been able to just get onto that one. It looks like they will just take the single, though. So he does actually get the single. Moves up to 69 runs off 24 deliveries. Now, 36 from 26 balls. Still 16.8 as the required run rate. There is still a lot to do for South Africa. They're almost on 200 runs, and normally 200 runs will win you a game well and truly. After that, they do need another 35. And just a reminder, everybody, get your prostates checked. Exactly right. I was going to say healthy prostate, happy life. But that's like the happy wife, happy life, isn't it? Just the single. So they will bump it up to 17.4. Good bowling from Sam Curran. Yes, he's gone for the 6, but other than that, he's had the Yorker that went for the dot and a couple singles in the over, which certainly helps out them as well. I've kind of just got like this weird fur belly, don't I now? Just randomly sitting there. After this many, England were up to 195, so that is a big difference. England sped up at this point with Moeen Ali, whereas South Africa, they need to keep on attacking. I'm not falling into that trap again. The last bloke wasn't even a doctor. Wasn't even a doctor. Cheers, Sebastian there. Did you at least get some sort of present for it? Like some KFC or something? That's going to be the end of the 17th. And it was 181 for 5. He does take the strike back, Stubbs. Good over from Curran, though. He did end up going for 9 runs and over, which is pretty good in the scheme of things for this game. Definitely on the short boundaries. I think England have got this. How did New Zealand go against Scotland? So New Zealand in their innings got about 225. Scotland were bowled out for 160 or so. So New Zealand winning it by 63 runs. An STD from his finger. That's... Unless it wasn't just the finger, of course. 54 from 18. 18 runs required per over for them to be able to go on and get themselves the win. But yeah, New Zealand winning that one by about 60 runs for themselves. But Jordan comes back into the bowling attack. So I believe he will get this over, and then he will get himself the last over as well. It's whether or not they go with spin in the 19th or whether they do test out Gleeson again. There he goes. And also we have got there, how was you suggesting you should get KFC for butt play? Maybe. Like, at bare minimum, I would think. Bare minimum, get it, bare butt. No. Now Chris Jordan running in. He said he has chubby fingers. Or they want the single and they do get it. So Stubbs moves up to 71. He's disappointed for not being able to time it. But now, Feljuano, I think I say his name very wrong. He is going to be on strike. They need 18.7 per over this game. I said before that South Africa, I felt we were going to be able, or once the first innings was gone, I thought that South Africa were going to be able to get themselves 200. They're getting close to it. Well, I think they could get around 210, 215 if one of these two keeps on going the way that they are. That's the thing. He's on 18 off 10, which isn't too bad, but it doesn't win this match, unfortunately. He needs it a little bit higher by just a smidgen. Good ball. Once again, brilliant Yorker from Chris Jordan. Some good games in the NRL this week. Cheers, right there. This is easy, 100. Says Gershon there, moves up to almost 20 and over, but Stubbs has the power to be able to turn this game around. If he gets a quick fire 5 sixes throughout the next little while, that is 30 of the runs off 6 balls. That leaves 10 balls for 22 runs. Of course, he probably won't get the 6s all in a row. And also there's that risk of the wicket. But if he doesn't, there's a chance. Jordan bowls the full toss. Stubbs swings through. Doesn't quite get onto it. And now they want to take just a single. Brilliant bowling from Jordan. 3 singles so far. And that will move the required run rate up over 20. And also, not bad, boys. Do it. Show them, guys. Says Gershon and Tonight Rainbow in there as well. Says NZ guy, yeah, there's going to be Manly versus the Broncos. I really want to cover that game, Robert, but I might be asleep by that stage. But if I don't get through that one, I can guarantee you at some stage throughout this year, we are covering a Broncos game. I do promise that. That's brilliantly bowled by Jordan. And also for the win. And there as well, says NZ guy, in a high-scoring game like this, said dot balls can be winners of a matchup. Now 51 needed off 14. Will Jordan bowls brilliant Yorker. And Manly versus the Roosters. And there as well, says Robert, wait, is it Manly Roosters tonight? Rather than Manly Broncos. Oh, I might have that round the wrong way. When do the Broncos play? Are they? Oh, they might actually, they might be a Saturday game. That was a scoop shot attempted, and they're getting desperate now, South Africa, to try and find the boundary. Disappointed with that one. All right, I'm going to have a look at the NRL. So is it Manly Roosters? I thought it was Manly Broncos. Who was I reading? Maybe that was the week after. Yeah, no, it's Manly versus the Roosters. Sorry, I got that around the wrong way, didn't I? Broncos, they have got their game up against the Tigers on Saturday night. When do Manly play the Broncos? Is that, oh no, Roosters Broncos, I think I was thinking of for the next week. That is brilliantly bowled from Chris Jordan. That's massive. 3 singles. And also we've got that rugby itch. Got a video coming out shortly. We'll raise Coach AP's or England in there as well. It's a very good question. And Kiwis will win the League World Cup. And Saturday, says Robert, and wait, you streaming the NRL tonight? I was hoping to, but I may end up sleeping at that stage, seeing as we did get up very early and also fell asleep, says Xavier. And big ups, says Gershon. And there as well, but brilliantly bowled by Chris Jordan. Like they're saying, composure and skill. England were a total of about 30 runs ahead. Gleeson about to bowl, and you'd have to say with the economy that he has had already, it's that question of whether or not they can get themselves a few big runs of his over. If they get 4 sixes in this over, or I would say actually, you know what? 3 sixes and a 4, they're still in this contest. That is the prediction. And also, why don't South Africans like league? I don't know. I don't think it ever really just took off over there, unfortunately. And I guess more of the funding probably goes into rugby union. Maybe one day they will look at rugby league as an option. Now Stubbs swings through. I think he's got it. No, he isn't. He's going to be out. And Jason Roy takes it. Gleeson gets his wicket. And that will be more than likely the game, ladies and gentlemen. And this one, unfortunately, Stubbs, he is gone. He got 72 runs before he was dismissed. But Gleeson does pick up the wicket. Like they're saying, giving everyone a thrill. 72 runs off only 28 balls. Warriors play tomorrow night. Says Robert there, yeah, they are the 8 p.m. game, aren't they, if I'm not wrong? Who knows? Maybe we will be able to cover that. Depends on whether or not we do the women's sevens as well. And also they should, of this up-and-coming World Cup, just send their union side, says Xavier. And also South Africa 100%, says Gershon. And also Gleeson with a red rose. So now 51 needed off 11 balls. Rabada makes his way to the crease. Now, this man can hit a long ball, but it's the question of whether or not he can hit about 10 long balls to be able to help them over the line in only 11. He needs a 6 or a boundary of some sort. I hope my Storm put 50 on you Kiwis again, says Xavier. There's a good chance that it could happen because at the end of the day, that Anzac Day test was brutal. We got beaten badly. Right, Lange Gleeson. Although the good news is Ryan Papenhuisen isn't there. or Pappenhausen for the Melbourne Storm. That's probably the one save. In fact, a nice shot from Bavuma. But they'll get 2, which isn't too bad. And also we have got the Bridge too far now, I think, says Distracted Sports. Yeah, it is certainly looking tough for them. And also we have got the Audis from Carl. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Warriors suck. Says the NZ guy. Yeah, they have been struggling a little bit in recent times. And times before that, I guess. But hopefully one day they'll go decently. And a few Storm players in the Kiwis, says Cooper Cronk. The youngster disappointed with that dismissal. Unfortunately, got so close to helping South Africa out. Well, bowl slower Yorker from Gleeson. And almost as bad as the All Blacks, says NZ guy. Just a single taken. And also, yeah, and your Storm will get 30 on them the week after, says Robert there. I assume that they play the Broncos. And a nice break from Rugby OC, says Carl. Yeah, we've got this great, well, I mean, it's been a high scoring fixture, that is for sure, between these two sides, South Africa and England. And then we've got the Commonwealth Games coming up. We are going to be doing the Rugby Sevens. We will get to see all the big teams in action. And then alongside that, we are going to be doing some of the, hopefully, women's cricket of the Commonwealth Games. And then a few other sports. Bowled him. It's going to be the stump out of the ground. Gleeson gets another wicket. I think this is the bowling Sebastian was telling me about for the potential that this man has got. One moment, we will go like this. We have got, yep, they play Broncos and also have the most bandwagon fans in the league. People in Melbourne don't play rugby league or union, play AFL or Melbourne. Only reason Storm have fans is because they are good, says Xavier. And also Gleeson, says Sebastian. And Wallabies want Eddie Jones. England wants Razor if off or if you foster your Muppet. There's Nathan, but Rabada, he's gone for a golden duck there for Rabada. That's not what he would have been after. I mentioned he could hit a long ball. He didn't hit that one. Straight through a stump. And now Maharaj does make his way out to the crease. South Africa here, they've got 8 balls to not get bowled out and just say that because they win. And there's his NZ guy as well. But Josh Buttler, he'll be glad to see that this game has turned around in favour of England. You'd have to say it was never really out of their grasp, but there was a little moment there in the middle where it seemed like there might have been a comeback coming from the South Africans. But for now, we just look forward to the next game that has taken place, and that is going to be in about 20 hours' time. I believe the next one will be starting. I don't know whether or not we will be commentating that one. We will try our best, but we may be asleep. Shot down the ground, and that will just be the single once again. South Africa move up to 188. Now Maharaj has been able to get himself the single there, and also keep your head up, boys. Says Gershon, exactly right. They can still win the series. It is a 3-match one. Can you imagine that Gleeson has been out for years? For 2 years, never played for England. He comes back and becomes Lancashire's hero. Gets selected for England. Says Sebastian. Oh, full toss. Oh, he's got another wicket. He's got another one. He's got 3 now. It was a full toss. It was slower, but it was a wicket. He'll take it every day of the week. For Gleeson, it's another wicket. He's got 3 in this over and only gone for the 4 runs as well. They need more than 36 and over. Victorian Rugby League. We played the Waverley Panthers. When was the last time someone went for a diamond duck? It's been a while. Although actually not as long as you'd think. I think it was a little bit earlier on. Full toss it was indeed. Like earlier in the year maybe. And Proteas breaking records for the wrong reasons, says Carl. Yeah, it's unfortunate for them. Although a 5-foot did come from it for Nyeri, so I guess that's one good thing coming out of this game for South Africa. Also the 188 that they have been able to put on the board isn't too shabby. It was just the bowling, a bit too expensive. Always deadly in the 19th over, says Sebastian there. And now 1 over left. Chris Jordan. 2 wickets would make the South Africans bowled out. Gleeson's still rubbing his hip, so I hope he's all right because I think he might have torn a bit of a muscle. And also we have got there, go check out your incredible cameo. Don't copyright strike me, says Distracted Sports there. So was it like from a live stream, Distracted Sports? Maybe. I'll have to give it a look, won't I? Do you know, so how far through the video was it? Out of curiosity, or are you going to keep me on the edge of my seat waiting? Just sitting there going, I'm popping up soon. See, that would be a good way of getting me to watch it fully through, even if I wasn't in it. Because you'd be like, hey, you're in this one. And then I'd watch it. And they'd be like, hang on. He's got me there. But I assume that I'll pop up at some stage maybe. And still strong. says Gershon in there as well for the South Africans. But now 5 balls left, 46 runs needed. I don't think it's doable. At this point, it was close to a no ball, though, to be fair. So if he's going to bowl those, maybe it's a little bit more likely, but it is the dot ball instead. Chris Jordan charging in. He's been brilliant in these death overs. It's going to be once again a single. So Gleeson has the most wickets. I bloody nailed it, says Sebastian. Yeah, he does. To be fair to him, he came back well because he went for a lot of runs and then he didn't go for many runs. He was on 47 for none after 3. They tested him out, gave him 1 more over. Fired back well and did manage to get himself the 3 wickets. And also Super Reef no audio, you appear next to Squidge and 2 cents. Ah, I see. I'll take it. And batting, boys, last over. Says Gershon to sit down the ground from Maharaj. And no, Sebastian, I told you though, mate. Says it was Nathan. And also, if Warriors more popular than Club Union, or is Warriors more popular than Club Union in New Zealand? Probably not. I think a lot of people get behind their Bunnings NPC sides. But, like, that's the thing. It's probably because you've got all the regions rather than the Warriors, which mainly have, I guess, just the rugby league audience. I would say that provincial rugby probably does a little bit better. But then Club Union going down the next level, like the Heartland Championship, I guess you'll be talking about, it still does all right. So I'd say that the Warriors are above Heartland Championship, but below Bunnings NBC is the, like, order. Okay, he got hit in the leg there with that ball. He didn't like it too much for Nettie. A little bit strategic from Chris Jordan, hitting the feet of the man who got a fifer. NBC clubs, my guy, Warrior who, says Nathan there. Yeah, Bunnings NBC only just around the corner. I'm very excited. I always get excited around this time of the year because we have the Rugby Championship. We've got Bunnings NBC where we get to see all the up-and-coming talent, and then we get to see them all take part in Super Rugby a little bit later on and also overseas. See a few players making their way in. But 2 balls left now. Can we see a boundary from Maharaj? No, because it was a slow ball outside of our stump. He gave himself a lot of room and didn't quite get onto it. 43 needed from the last ball. Moeen Ali, he'll be pretty impressed with the way that he played with the bat and the fastest ever T20 international half-century. And also, I thank you in the description, do you? Nice. Geez, I'm getting cameos all over the place, aren't I? I do appreciate that a lot, of course. I saw a tribute video to the Kiwi lads. I wish I could show it, but it's got copyrighted music. But someone did a video saying Kiwi Lads is the best YouTuber ever, right? And it was a video of a monkey grabbing a bottle of milk or water or something and running. And I was wondering where the comparison was. So I assume that I am considered as that monkey running around, which I'll also take. That is the end of the game, though. England win it 41 runs. They do end up winning by. And that is going to be the end of this fixture. So it is only 9 a.m. here, ladies and gentlemen. And now I guess it is time to start doing stuff for the day, such as videos, editing, etc. We're going to be doing a lot. So, yeah, we will see you later on. And Amish gets get back to work. The boss is coming. Oh, wait, I'm the boss, says Nathan. And also, cheers for the live stream, mate. England, says Sebastian. There as well. But yeah, England winning this one by 41 runs. But we might be back for the NRL if I am still awake. If I'm not, we might be back for South Africa versus England if I'm awake. If I'm not, we will be back for the Commonwealth Games tomorrow. And we will certainly be covering that all the way from Western Cape, South Africa. 100% still strong, South African, says Gershon as well. But yeah, the second second T20 just around the corner. Going to be awesome. See who does take out that one. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you all for the next